in that little CD holder or something.
Another
that
bonus.
soundtrack.
Did they remaster the soundtrack at all?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like the exact same music. It does sound crisp though. I just figured
that patch look good? Because I was kind of waiting to see what that patch was like. Is it on that cart also? Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
that's why it took so long.
You saw our copies of Grandias.
I got that big
mail,
order,
right?
man. I forget. I order stuff from Limited Games, and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's Grandia. We talked about this the other day. I couldn't figure out what the other game was, right?
So it took me forever to get my Shantae 7 Sirens, and now Panzer Dragoon remake. Dude, I was in Best Buy just last weekend, and they had Shantae. They already had Panzer Dragoon while mine's still in the mail waiting for delivery. I picked up Blaster Master 0, 1, and 2 there. They had those there. They're both limited run branded.
Yeah, I still need to get my Blaster Master.
They got a cool deal with Best Buy. I think Amazon picks them up too, right?
Shit.
Yeah.
They just started, yeah.
I think that's how I'm going to end up getting Panzer Dragoon.
So I'm gonna either get them through Amazon or go look at Best Buy from now on rather than.
Okay, my other game was Ys Origin. I got a copy of that.
Ys Origin was at Best Buy.
I still don't have mine. Yeah, mine's still pay for the bullshit limited edition. That's why.
Guys, when are we gonna learn?
I was thinking about going back and getting that one too.
Forever Fiscal. Did anybody get a go live? There it is.
Yeah, I'm jumping on now.
Cesar says clothing is required.
Clothing's always required. God bless the clothing.
God bless.
Cesar, your library view actually looks really good on camera, though. I gotta give you props.
Yeah, this is what I've been working on the last freaking month. It's been a nightmare. I've been, those days when you were stressed with shit everywhere. That was me. Yeah. It's fucking nightmare. Shit everywhere. I'm like stepping over stuff and knocking stuff over.
Are you ready for one of those shelves?
No, you go ahead. No rush.
You're sure?
I think I got enough what I need for right now. Yeah. Okay.
You know they're there, so if you have to call for them, just let me know.
Nah, man, you help me out. I'll get them when I get them.
And you saw the ones that I have in that little storage area too, if you need any of those. Let me see where we're at.
Yeah, because the only one I'm working on right now is I'm gonna swing you. Well, I'll show y'all later because we're recording right now. I'll show you later.
Yeah, we're live. But this is our usual preamble bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked those up. Panzer Dragoon came in. This just came in today, Trover.
Oh, nice.
Came in.
Cesar talked me into that. I haven't played it yet, though.
While I was at Best Buy, they still had a bunch of these, so I went ahead and picked one of these up.
Did you try it out yet?
It hasn't left the box.
Oh.
I have seen some screen protectors for it, and I'm like debating like screen protector. I was looking to see if maybe somebody had made like a cool like a little soft case or something.
Yeah.
Because I know if I just put it in my pocket or something, it's just it's gonna get like pocket fuzz and whatever else on it or in it.
Oh my god!
Let me show you what I'm using. I'm gonna grab it real quick, and I'll show you all something I got for Christmas too.
What you playing over there, Cesar?
The Genki Bunku Fighting Climax Ignition. I'm about to get out of here now.
Alright. Brand, I didn't get this on its own. This came with one of those. Have you seen those stands that they market? Like you fold them out?
Yeah.
Alright, it came from Amazon. It was $10, but it's a real nice metal Mario one. Well, not metal Mario branded, but it's metallic in Mario. And
yeah, I looked when it's Metal Mario. It's Metal Mario.
Metal Mario. It's Metal Mario branded. Yeah. The most famous of all the Marios. And I had no use for it because I just throw the stand in my bag. Like I don't need this thing that came with it. But I don't know. That's just what I've been keeping. And it's still like a coffee table thing, like we were talking about. It just kind of hangs out and people pick it up and play a level and set it back down.
Is it still popular?
It is very popular. Remember, this was one of my games of the year last year. They freaking love Mario Brothers. Even though they keep picking lost levels for some reason. I'm like, why would you go into that one?
You ready for the Sonic stage? I'm about to quit so we can get started. But you ready for the Sonic stage?
Sonic.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's see it. Oh, my other thing. Oh, wait, Cesar's doing his Sonic. It's kind of hard to see. I see a witch
It's like
with a
Green
hat.
Hill.
We can sort of hear the music.
It is Green Hill.
Yeah, it looked like Green Hill.
God, it looks great. What is that?
The Genki Bunku. As I get my ass handed to me.
Just like a ton of Sega stuff, Sega properties in there.
Sega developed it, but this is all based off the Genki Bunku light novels and anime. This right now I'm playing Chicago no Shana, and then Accelerator World is the one I'm playing right now. And then it has Sword Art Online, Certain Magical Index,
and other assorted properties.
Yeah. I just picked up another one that I've never heard of before, but I got it because of this. This one right here. It's supposed to be pretty good. They're in there too, whatever this Horizon, between the Horizon and Center of the World or something like that. Horizon in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah. They got characters from there on this game too.
That's where I felt like I'm at sometimes. How's things going? I'm in the middle of nowhere.
This is the PS4 one, so this one only came out in Japan, so.
Tyler's girl says sword art and it gave you a heart.
I spent $150 for the sets.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
Each or total?
Each.
Oofta.
Oh.
Because that's how Aniplex charges their shit, and I like the show, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Support that anime, sir.
Are they limited prints also?
That show's pretty popular, so they don't usually kill it pretty quickly.
She said, "Bro, that's legit. You have a fan."
I'm glad. I love the Sword Arts Online. I just haven't bought the Alicization one because they want $250 for that one. I'm holding off on that.
Ooh, save your pennies. All right, here's one of my early Christmas gets. I don't know that I would have bought this for myself, but
oh my gosh,
I was very happy. Sorry, I blocked out the audio. I was very happy to unwrap it. The box is massive.
Oh, did it come in? I got mine pre-ordered at Amazon, but Amazon's is like I think January or some shit like that.
I didn't order this. This was a gift. It came from the Lego store, according to the gift giver.
Said person.
Yep, and they also gave me the little Mario, like the sound pack though.
That's pretty cool.
Like you build the little side piece. That's not right. You build the little side pieces, and it provides the audio for that thing. So I got the 2-pack. We're gonna build myself and the young ones. We're gonna build the little set tomorrow.
Who's Mario's side piece? Is it Rosalina?
Is it Rosalita?
Is that Rosalina?
Or Daisy? Daisy's the OG, right?
Yeah.
Or
kind of disappeared.
Oh gosh.
Daisy just shows up for tennis and stuff.
Why am I blanking on her name?
Mario parties.
She was in Donkey Kong.
Oh, Paulina.
I was like, it starts with a P.
She sang the song in Mario Odyssey, man.
Yep, she was in Mario. They brought her back, Mario Odyssey.
Wasn't she the mayor of New Donk City?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I also got my shirt on for you, Brent.
Read it for us.
It's Konosuba. Mine's
build your own side piece. We haven't started the episode. Can we still use that as a episode title?
Great Wave. It says Tokyo on it.
There we go. That was a good one too.
Mine has PlayStation and says PlayStation.
And the logo.
I did get the. Did anybody jump on the GameStop Christmas sweaters today?
Mm-mm. The fashion portion of our show is now complete.
Yeah, we were done. The trifecta.
Clothing is required. We have shown the required clothing.
Proof of purchase.
Side pieces and side garments. And undergarments. Yeah, I got these. I sent Cesar a picture of them. I got these for the studio for whenever we are able to actually be face to face again. That'll be nice.
Art collectors.
I'm upgrading.
I see your giant NOFODcast sticker in the background. Friend of the show, Charles, gave me one too. It's in the damn truck. I forgot to bring it in.
The printer, the actual printer and provider of the stickers gave you one?
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have to lock him down. He can't just go handing out stickers willy nilly. He's supposed to be designing us a new channel banner thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're not featured on that one. We have a mustachioed person, and we have Michael on there. It's like a Zorro. All right, make sure everything's set up right. Yeah, we're on YouTube and Twitch. We're good. We got a follow from 9 days ago. That's good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, how's the mic sound better now in front of it instead of sideways?
Your mic and camera are glorious. Yeah, everything's much better. Big upgrade. Thanks for finally being official, sir.
It was in storage. I was like, oh, there it goes. I should probably use this.
You sent me that. I was like, yes. Because you don't hear it, but that built-in mic will scratch on your beard or your shirt or something, and me and Brand are just like, we just seize up, and I'm like, dude, please. Now you'll hear it though.
Don't worry about it, because everybody at my job gets it too, and they get pissed off. So I already know.
Yeah, we make do with what we had.
They just double mute me.
That was close to being last week's episode title. It was close. If that other bit hadn't showed up if the worms bit hadn't kept showing up, that would have been it.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to get into some worms this week. I've got some shit to say about that.
I left it on there, so I haven't played it yet. Still,
I haven't played it either.
So there's things happening. I guess I don't know.
That should be all of our first multiplayer PS5 game, unless SR's been dominating Call of Duty.
I'm gonna have to re-download it then.
You kicked it off?
Yeah, I kicked it off.
Did you already run out of storage?
No. What? No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay. Shit.
Save a story. No, I'm playing a lot of Mortal Kombat, so if you want to go in Mortal Kombat, we can go.
Ooh.
Did you pick it up, Brant, when I sent you that link?
Yeah, I gotta get it.
Yeah, mine's on the way.
That thing is only 10 gigs on disc, and it's a 90 gig download.
No.
Oh.
So it was a nightmare for me, because I thought there was something wrong with my disc, because I was loading it off the disc and it was taking forever. I was like, what the fuck's happening? It's taking forever. I thought the disc was bad. And then I did some research online, and apparently the first portion of it, the 10 gigs, is on disc, and then it slows down. I was having collision packet errors on my Switch. That's why. So I was getting like slow internet speed. I had to go through and reset everything. After that, it picked up, because it was telling me it was going to take 96 hours to install the game. I was like, damn, is my disc drive bad? Then I did research online. It's like, no, it's an 80 gig download from the internet. So once I fixed the internet, it downloaded in like 30 minutes. I was like,
good God.
I was
96 hours is like worse than hard disk. But
see, I was pulling like double DSL. So it's like, instead of a 6 meg connection, it's like a 12 meg connection. I was like, I feel for people out here who don't have high speed, man. I was like, man, this sucks.
They're out there. That's like a logistical issue we still encounter. Some people don't have that luxury. Of the broadbands, the true broadbands. I guess DSL is still considered broadband.
It is a butthole broadband, but...
Brant, why is there so much news? I was like, all right, we're going to have some games played. We're going to have Brant's PS5 impressions. I'm like, I don't think anything happened. I'm sure there's just like one or two things, and then...
A lot of these we can blow through pretty quick. Because, I mean, there's not a lot of substance to these. I mean, these aren't like the... Game Awards where we're having to talk about game announcements and stuff. So,
speaking of Game Awards, we're gonna hand out our Game of the Years next week.
We could.
Oh God, I got to go through my list, man. I can't believe I put 200 hours on my Switch.
Yeah, that was random.
I'm scared to look at my PlayStation ones. I know the Xbox one, you got me beat. You probably put like thousands of hours in your Xbox, Richard.
Mine might be, but Halo says I've only played like 180 hours of Halo. I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? I did 10 at least minimum this past week. So I'm like, I don't know how this is even a thing. Oh shit, I thought I was hardwired. I'm not. Oh well. All right, we're on the luck of the Wi-Fi. I just happened to glance down and see the Wi-Fi. I tried to hardwire for the show, but nope. I don't even see my adapter. Shit. All right, nothing's happened yet.
It is what it is. Don't even think about it, and we'll be fine. Think about it. It
looks like it's behaving, so.
It looks fine, dude. I would have noticed if you didn't say anything.
Nope.
So if you would have just kept it to yourself, unless you just pause like this.
Now that I've thrown it out there
for 5 minutes.
No, it's always maybe. It's always something unfavorable. It's never like a thoughtful pose. It's always some bullshit. Brent, did you get I derailed us. Brent, did you get the Nintendo Switch? How long you've played thing? Email. Cesar, what was mine? 32 hours.
Probably did.
I'll take a look again.
Or like 47. I think last year was 32.
Yeah. You did 47. Last year was 32 hours.
Yep. I just have a work week. I have 2 work weeks over the past 2 years.
I think mine was 221, and then it was last year was 79
year
hours.
in review.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brant. Live.
2020 year in review.
Brant's got a shit ton. We'll wait for it.
Yep.
Enlighten us.
What kind of player are you this year? I'm a core gamer, guys.
Does it have a picture of Bowser?
Yeah, skilled.
Yeah. Isn't that what you could set on the original Xbox Live? Like, I'm an avid gamer. I'm a core gamer. I'm a casual player.
So my games that I've played the most of, I'm really not shocked at
Animal
2
Crossing.
of these on here. Animal Crossing is one, and Smash Brothers are on there. The other one that I apparently played the most is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night.
There we go.
That you played the most?
I'm not shitting you, dude.
What is that clock? Are you kidding me? Okay, it's just up there.
My
with
most
the other
played
3.
games by hours.
Yeah.
My total hours played, 522 hours.
There you go.
Okay. Well done, Brant. You smashed us.
Number of games played, 36. And
Still
apparently most active day, Saturday, April 4th.
What were you doing then? That was like the official lockdown day? You were like, fuck it, we're here. Let's just play video games. I don't know.
I have no clue.
All right, so Brant's officially our Nintendo person. Cesar is officially our PlayStation person, and I, by default, just end up the Xbox person for my Halo Master Chief devotion. It's literally a Halo box to me, and I'll be the Xbox guy.
I think now I'm looking at it again, Brant. I did 70 games this year. That was down from last year, which I did 100 games.
Wow.
It's a new game every 3 days, Cesar.
I'm slipping.
Tighten up. Next year, you get your Switch Pro, and you'll come back around.
I just need more Xenoblade. I put 100 hours in that game. That was like half my total for this year.
Just a Xenoblade box?
It was just a fucking Xenoblade. I could have just cement that shit in there and be done with it. So.
All right, y'all actually ready to get started, even though we've made good content so far. For the 4 people that have joined us, welcome 4.
Welcome.
I know 3 of those people, personally.
Very well. Did they own PS5s? Does this information land true for them?
They all own PS5s, except for one of them has their FedEx drivers enjoying it still.
I checked today. It says on vehicle for delivery November 12th.
That's some dedication. They're going to find that shit and bring it to you.
It's never going to go away.
It's going to be you're going to get it's going to be like a Treasure Trove of games installed in there, like Black Ops and
Richard
Morales and...
How shitty are you going to feel if Tom Hanks shows up all grizzled, long hair to your door with the big old package? Yeah. Here's your package, sir.
Yeah, and it has the angel wings on it like that FedEx box did.
Yeah.
And I offer him some crab legs. I always thought that was like the worst part of that movie. Like that party they threw for him, it's like all seafood and shit. He's just looking at it like, I want to eat that shit.
That's what you call irony, man. That's great.
Yeah. Tyler's girl says she has 197 hours on Iceborne. It's like PUBG ate me up that year.
I haven't tried Iceborne yet. Is that the Monster Hunters?
No. Yep.
I just want to play that one that looks like Breath of Fire. That's it. That's all I care about. The Monster Hunter Stories 2.
The Breath of Fire.
The one I was like, Breath of Fire 6, and it was Monster Hunter Stories. I was like, fuck.
Duped you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get some lead in and get going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 139 of the NOFODcast. We are no outside food or drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. More news than we wanted to talk about tonight. Starting with Super Nintendo World had its own direct. There's Resident Evil 8 leaks. Do not worry about spoilers. The article that we are going to cover is just a general overview of what came out, not specifics. We get some answers from Doug Bowser. It's a pretty good interview. What was found on the Dreamcast dev kit? We'll find out later on. Sakurai shows off Sephiroth and new Mii costumes, upsetting the Smash fan base once again. Xbox games with gold for January 2021 have been announced, and there's a new next-gen console that everyone is talking about. I'm Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Brant McKee.
What's up?
Nintendo correspondent, and PlayStation correspondent Cesar Concepcion II.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? I no longer have that fucked up mic, so you're all welcome.
Oh, you sound so much better. It's glorious.
I had to sit there and do test calls to get it right. I didn't even test it with y'all. I was there just fucking around with the test feature.
What is it? Skype makes it pretty easy to just go in there in audio settings and switch over, and we're all way more used to that than we were 6 months ago, 9 months ago. So I think everybody's pretty audio video savvy at this point. But you still get the randos. It's like, what is happening with your setup? Like, how have you been making it?
My favorite part's when I jump in the meetings I have, because since we do it on Teams, I got the Halo background.
Yes.
And so it's usually me just with the Halo background behind me.
Is it Zanzibar?
I don't think
the one with the
it has the one with the ring. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm always in there and people just laugh every time I'm just in there just talking. It's like they can't take me seriously with the
Halo background.
The rings in the background.
No, I'll call some be like Spectrum or something like that, and their agents are at home. It sounds like, so it'll transfer me to. I'll be looking at a personal number that it transfers me to, and I just hear this crackly ass setup, and I'm like, all right, what you had a bare minimum spec you probably hit to be sent home. That's the double DSL you're talking about.
Yep.
All right, what's in this Super Nintendo World Direct, which was filled with video game information, which all the Nintendo fans, including Brant, who's our number one Nintendo fan and Nintendo console player by hours, was overjoyed. They did detail some of the theme park attractions. Of course, that is what Super Nintendo World is. Something about that just doesn't flow right. I know that makes sense to call it that, but it's like a combination of the wrong stuff, right? Does it throw anybody else off?
Every time I go to look at it, and just by reflex seems to go Super Mario World. Super
Nintendo Mario World is like the flow that I want to put on it. Like, that's a good game, but that's not what they're trying to call it.
It's Super Nintendo World, but everything that we've been shown, everything we've been shown is all Mario themed. So.
Which is their go-to, you know. I think the big attraction they detailed in this was like a Mario Kart one. Seems like an AR type experience. How are they going to pull that off? It's because it's still set to open. Was this all in the? I can't remember if this is all in the article or not.
I think it's early next year, I believe, right?
It's February of next year.
But we're still in the middle of a pandemic. How are they going to pack people on these rides and do this kind of stuff? It seems kind of off. Like the type of announcement that you would expect right now is not really, hey, we're opening a new theme park. Damn, who lit us up?
That new mic's working real well.
Somebody's fucking up my backyard camera. My
shit. Bad. Cesar, go back to the other headset. We know not what we asked for.
My bad. I didn't realize I had the volume turned on. I usually have it on silent mode. Everybody gets one. You know, that's what Spider-Man says.
That bell was enthusiastic, man. You better go see what they want. Your pizza's there.
I'm looking at it right now. It's just a fucking raccoon doing this.
Yeah. Seriously?
Somebody ran into your wind chimes.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing. He's just pissing me off every night. Because I'm at like 1 a.m. and I look up as a fucking either possum or raccoon and just waving at me. I'm like, these fuckers.
Our back door one goes off. The cat has learned. Well, that's the door the cat has always gone in and out of. But he knows that we respond to that one because the camera goes off. So that's the one he goes to. And then you'll see him like perched up on the little ledge, looking around. He's looking in the house. And then if you watch on the camera, he'll track somebody as they come across the room and open the door for him, and he scoots in. So he's familiar with the ring, as it were.
He knows he's got a routine.
Yep. Anything else on this? You get a wristband. I feel like this is kind of old news, but they just really like unveiled it and did a video presentation and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think. Oh, I was just gonna say this is very Disney of Nintendo, pretty much. You have the wristbands just like you do at Disney. They interact sometimes with different things. They kind of heavily rely on that. Like you have a Mario themed wristband and you can get different ones. I guess just depending on different characters, and there's different things you can interact with, like blocks, and you can get coins, and they say it goes to a smartphone app. They don't say what you can do with the coins, if they're redeemable.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
For
They'll give you some.
Yeah, if there's for some kind of prize or something that you can do at the park or
Just
or
send them all to Brent. Any Animal Crossing related stuff, send it to our Nintendo correspondent Brent. He will figure out what to do with it, and then email. He would send it back to you with the instructions.
They did show off this interesting little like Mario toy that's specific to their gift shop, where it's like Mario and he's got like a little shell behind him, and he's standing up, and if you just push the shell, Mario like walks along by himself. It looks pretty
like a
interesting
magnet or something.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's an interesting little thing.
Nintendo's going back to their
and then
roots as toy makers.
Toy makers. They showed the restaurant that is run by Chef Toad, and all the toads. They have, I guess, like this giant TV screen, and it looks like a kitchen. You can see all the toads running all around the kitchen and making different dishes and things like that.
So I won't make my food. It's like the Nintendo spin on Ratatouille.
Yeah, I want freaking Toad running around. Sorry, your meal's in another castle. But
it'll cost you 20 Nintendo coins to go to the next castle. We hope you collected them on your bracelet and sent them to Brant.
They did show like some of these attractions where you're kind of walking through and like perspective, making things smaller, making things bigger to, make it seem like you're actually in the world of Mario, and you're shrinking or you're growing. And then they showed a very, very little bit of the AR Mario Kart thing. It was they want to talk about this, but they really don't want to show much, is what it seems like. Is they're still trying to keep it a little under wraps, keep a lot of the surprise and hype going. But like you were saying, even by February next year, we may have a better handle on COVID by then, but still it's going to be very awkward. And I'm sure they're going to be doing everything they can. He did, because it was Miyamoto that walked through everything, and he did talk about how COVID hasn't impacted the world and how they are going to be doing standard practices and lots of cleaning, sanitizing to make sure everybody's safe and follow guidelines and things like that. So it's just one of those things where we'll have to see. It's very, very cool, but most of us outside of Osaka, we're going to have to wait a while, because I know this is coming to... They did talk about how they're going to bring it to California and bring it to Orlando and a couple different destinations all across the world.
It's a little closer.
It'll probably... Yeah, it'll probably be a while before we get to experience this, but it is cool to see.
That Mario Kart thing intrigues me a lot. I know they can't show much of it. It's like, like the old Star Tours. How much of that could they show? All right, we're going to put you in this box and shake the shit out of you while you look at Star Wars stuff on the screen. Has that gotten an update over the years? I know they went all out on Star Wars stuff at Disney World, but has the actual Star Tours? Because I remember riding that way back in the day.
There's, I believe, 4 different scenarios you can go through on Star Tours. They may have added a couple, or they may have special ones, for events and things. I can't remember offhand, but I know that there's at least 4 different scenarios you can go through. And the last time we were there, I mean, there's still, some of them are themed to like the prequels and stuff. So I mean, you're gonna have Jar Jar Binks
simulator
talking and so but I mean, it's really cool. It's really cool, but nothing beats the Millennium Falcon there.
I know you've been recently.
Team. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And that was the attraction when I went.
Here's what's going to attract you to Resident Evil 8. There was more of a follow-up. Oh God, no! Put it up, Cesar. No, that one's decent.
Ooh.
Except for Jar Jar, that one's like the pod racing and all that's not too bad.
That's what I call pod racing.
It gave us that good song or the good music at the very end, Duel of the Fates or something.
Yeah.
More fallout from the
best thing
ransomware
of the
attack
trilogy.
at Capcom with Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8 plot details, cutscenes, boss fights, and characters have leaked online following a ransomware attack on Capcom. This comes from GamesRadar.com and Hirun Cryer. They don't discuss that in the article, but they do say beware because they're out on like Reset Era and Reddit. Those details are out there. But it's very specific details. Multiple cutscenes, unannounced enemies, boss fights, and seemingly the full ending to the game have been leaked online.
Oof.
That sucks.
Yeah.
God, that sucks. As of right now, they note Resident Evil 8 doesn't have a firm release date. It's penciled in to launch at some point in 2021 for next-gen consoles and PC. Resident Evil 8 producers have previously revealed they're trying to get the horror sequel to run on current-gen consoles, but can't promise an actual release. Which is what Cyberpunk probably should have done. Oh, I got to get it in there at some point. Do we have an update on the Cyberpunk drama, or are people tired of hearing about that at this point?
I can go through it really quick.
All right, update us, Brent. Cyberpunk correspondent. Take off your Nintendo hat, put on your CD Projekt Red hat.
So he's okay. So investors are even planning to put together a class action lawsuit. Wow, my mouth quit for a second. And there was another patch fixing a lot of the game. Even GameStop, if people come refunds on this, and PlayStation has removed it from the PSN store, so you can no longer
that was the big
purchase
news
this
since last week.
And that
is big news.
No longer store credit.
Yeah, that's about it. I think PlayStation got tired of giving refunds, so they just pulled it completely.
I think to add to that, I think the next day Microsoft said they were just going to do refunds also. They get lax a little bit on their rules and not worry about the play time. And today they just announced, even with all the bullshit happening, they sold 13 million copies. So
yeah, they still sold a lot.
Yep.
They're
not hurting too bad, but it may be like a goodwill type error that they suffer from.
Yeah, no. The only reason why their investors are trying to sue them is because their stocks dropped 20%, so they lost a lot of money. So.
Yeah, they're saying they misled investors and the consumers by not showing current gen or the game running on current gen. Oh, and who was it? Was it one of the developers that came out and was bitching on Twitter about how people are giving Cyberpunk so much hate when which game? He said something about one of these games that just came out that was so broken.
That got a pass when they didn't.
They got a pass, but
it's from the developers from The Witcher 3. I mean, they put out quality shit. You put them on that tier, and now you knock them down a little bit.
I mean, it's a whirlwind of factors, right? Like, this is the most hyped game. It was announced 7 years ago with that CG trailer.
Yeah.
Their pedigree speaks for itself. They own that GOG platform, so it's all like this perfect storm of they can't do anything wrong. Supposedly they were one of the better workplaces and such, but that
I remember
the forced overtime and all that has come out since then. What game was it he was comparing, or she was comparing? I'm sorry.
They were comparing it to the Avengers game, saying that game that they said that game was more broken than CD Projekt Red is now, and people gave that a pass.
I don't know, man. I see a lot of shit on Twitter still to this day.
I was about to say
Avengers.
On Avengers, yeah.
Avengers.
Every time Square Enix puts an update, like we update the game, and everybody's on that Twitter under Square Enix, like this game still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
We're making this game. I was like straight into Square Enix thing. I love going through their thread because everybody shits on that game.
And that game,
how much
that game was pretty broken, but it's not as broken as CD Projekt Red is, or their Cyberpunk is.
Mm-hmm.
And they let people actually play it early, and they never had weird embargoes on the game about only review the PC version and this, that, and the other. So the whole Cyberpunk debacle is its own thing.
Yeah. Somebody was noting that this is like the definitive, like this is the time to get in and play Cyberpunk and play all these bugs and all that, because it's going to get patched to hell and back, and you won't be able to
break it anymore.
Like we have to preserve
watching that shit.
We have to preserve those builds on that disc. So,
No, we don't. We just disconnected from the internet and popped the disc in. You got the fully functioning version right there. Still never updated.
Tyler's Girl says, isn't Cyberpunk the game where genitals will just pop out uninvited? Yes, that are some of the best screenshots that I've seen. They're just out there on display.
We talked out a fellow employee at my job. He was like, "Oh, you heard about that Keanu Reeves game? I'm not gonna buy that game." I'm like, and we showed him those videos. He's like, "No, I'm gonna hold off." I was like, "Yeah." We showed him the dick pictures too, and he's like, he said, "No, I'm good." He's like, "I don't want any of that."
It's a buggy, man. All right, that's your weekly Cyberpunk update. Polygon had a huge interview with Doug Bowser, and this was Russ Frushtick. And Russ kind of put it. Did y'all all read this article? I actually read the news for once.
I've read bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, he kind of went after him. He asked him a bunch of big things about
like the Joy-Con drifts, the Switch Pro, and he kind of danced around a lot of that stuff.
Game Pass. He had to come back around Game Pass.
There are a lot of very executive non-answer answers in this interview, but I will kind of give it to him. I mean, he didn't let up. Most people are just like, how is Nintendo World doing? Could we get some tickets? Could we get this? What are you expecting with next year? He actually asked some decent questions, and he didn't really. He tried to keep him from dancing around it. He's like, well, you said this, but you didn't really answer my question. Right. I want to know about this.
He buckled down. But go ahead, Cesar.
Well, it's because, usually back in the day, it used to be like, here's the questions you can ask, and they'll hand you a piece of paper. And that's usually how it was. That, and I'm still laughing at Dan Riker when he said he had the
definitive interview.
Miyamoto. For Miyamoto. He asked about the football player for footballs.
Oh, no. We glitched out. I glitched out. I think it's the Wi-Fi. I had to bring it up.
Yeah, you're drunk.
I missed the whole punchline and everything.
Oh, the football player that throws baseballs.
About the different jobs and the blue collar thing?
No, just the whole the enemy from Super Mario World. Remember, he's dressed up like a football player and he throws baseballs. He's like he charging chunks. Like, he doesn't throw footballs. Said Miyamoto forgot.
He didn't know. Yeah. Another part of that one was like the blue collar. He's asking him about being a plumber and is he actually qualified to be a doctor? Because all of his stuff's blue collar. But some highlights of the interview, he was asking him about like how did COVID impact Nintendo, and they were saying they had like Pikmin 3 Deluxe ready to go. They're still talking about their evergreen catalog, like Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 are still selling well. They were not expecting Animal Crossing to sell as well as it did.
Nobody did.
No one did. No one could have.
I knew it was going to sell well, but I didn't think it was going to sell that well.
Yeah. They spoke on Nintendo Switch Online and Game Pass, and he had to come back around to Game Pass. And Doug Bowser basically said, we're creating enough content for people to consume, and we don't feel like there's a demand for that, essentially.
You saw he mentioned on there, he said that one of their sticking points is that they were to go with a service like that, they feel like they wanted somebody to piecemeal it versus doing something altogether that they don't have no input on what's on that service.
Right. They want to purchase, it sounds almost like the Apple stance. They want to purchase one-offs and not do that platform.
I mean, because you got to remember, you're at the mercy of some other company who can just do shit, and you're just like, oh, people come complain to you. It's like, hey, I just put this on the platform. So,
right.
I know it puts a weird spot. So,
he pressed him on the March 31st bullshit that we've brought up so many times. And he actually did dance around that one, just calling it a celebration, like a limited time thing.
Yeah.
Which is,
he just sent me a new DSi.
Celebrate. It's a celebration,
Which is
send me my new DSi for my 25th anniversary one. That doesn't work anymore.
It's bricked as of March 31st, 2011.
Yeah.
Is that when it would have come out? Or that's when it would have been bricked? Yeah, they keep bringing up the AAA titles like Mario Kart 8 and Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild because their attach rate, was it 8 units per Switch for physical attach rate? The editor notes, go ahead.
And it's like the opposite side. I mean, in Europa, it's like the opposite side with PlayStation. You saw their attach rates like 1 game for every 3 consoles or something like that.
Wow.
They're hurting really bad right now for money. So it's because of all that scalping.
On PS4 or PS5 specifically, you're saying?
PS5 specifically, yeah. They're selling like, I think, 1 attachment rate for every 3 consoles. That's how you can see how bad it was. Somebody released an article about that, how bad the scalping situation is for that console.
I think
it was Dean Takahashi, I think his name was, from Bloomberg. Was it Bloomberg? I can't remember what he works for.
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal Japan or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
That was interesting. It was a graph that you could see as far as attach rates for launch consoles, and because of the scalping, people aren't buying the game. But I'm in that group. I have 2 dedicated PS5 games, but it's been like a PS4 Pro to me to a certain extent. So like I can just pop in Need for Speed, and I'm getting the best version of Need for Speed. So you don't really take a hit on that when you have a back library of PS4 titles already, you know. And,
no, you're right.
And I would
argue
there's no super compelling PS5 exclusive software yet. So there's that too.
Demon Souls is yelling at you. It's yelling at me too. I haven't played it yet, but it's yelling at both of us.
I don't have Demon Souls. And the best game for PS5, I'll Die on This Hill, comes shipped on the PS5.
My Demon Souls is in this tote right here, and it's like a fucking Jumanji. It's like just wants me to play it. Yeah.
Stream it so we can watch you.
So watch me die, and I quit after 15 minutes. Like fuck this game.
There's an editor note on the Switch sales. Nintendo sold 1.35 million Switch units in the U.S. in November, so that's 24 straight months of being the top-selling console, since we don't really do NPD numbers anymore. He did note, Doug Bowser noted that this is like halfway through their life cycle, so we're expecting pretty lengthy Switch, which is fine, I guess. You kind of know what you're getting as far as those go.
I mean, they effectively killed the Wii U one, so I mean, all we were missing is Nintendo Land and Star Fox.
Is that all that's left? We always do this. We always do an update at a certain point.
That's all I'm going to say. I can't think of anything else outside of the Zelda HDs, which I'm hoping we'll get next year. So.
Yep. With the 35th of that one. Joy-Con Drift, he danced around. He's like, we always want to send people to our warranty solution.
You know the rules when it comes to legal stuff. Don't admit to anything. Deny, redirect, and deny. Always redirect and deny.
I love how so many of these are. Here's how I want to answer this, Russ.
Yeah.
They brought Russ brings up a great point about Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, like it being a prequel to Legend of Zelda, and then that is just kind of spun off into prequel to Legend of Zelda, prequel to Breath of the Wild. Like, are they going to explore more stuff like that? And he kind of spins it off into. Many people are finally playing Breath of the Wild for the first time, and people are still purchasing it.
He did a good job on that because he said he didn't want to speak for the developers on the store. He's like, I don't want to go in there and put my foot in my mouth. So he's like, I'll answer what I can answer. I know. He was very. He answered what he could, and he was very like vocal in like what he couldn't answer. So
yeah,
he didn't say no comment or anything like that. He kind of spun it. So
Nintendo's pretty good at this. They're not going to announce anything, and he notes that too. Like, we're going to show off things when they're ready. We're pretty consistent with updating consumers on where we are and what we have planned. So
same thing with Switch Pro in this article when they asked about it. I mean, we're dedicated to keeping with our Switch family of systems, and it's like it's holiday, and I mean the Switch is still selling. It's still the best-selling game console on the market right now. And do you think he would be like, "Yo, yeah, we got Switch Pro. It's coming out soon," and then it would tank those numbers? People would halt and like, "Well, if there's a new one coming out, I'm going to wait." You know,
they have a good strategy with the Switch Lite. We weren't really sure when they announced that how that was kind of going to fit into their ecosystem, but I think they figured it out. They got their console and their portable, and it just happens to be the same platform. Was that it in the interview? Did y'all want to go over anything else in that?
Absolutely not. That was well done, Richard. You covered everything appropriately, and in my heart, I know you could replace Doug Bowser. You danced around everything well.
I did.
Yep.
I guess I'm being grilled by our Nintendo correspondent. Our next article is for our Sega correspondent. Who is that? Who's on the Sega beat? I'll take this one.
All of us.
Hold on, I'm waiting for it to load.
Oh,
I don't know. You were excited about this one.
Oh, yeah. I sent you.
This one was real cool.
I sent you this on the side. People are still finding, this is probably the best thing about game preservation and just, I don't even know how to put it. This stuff's just exciting. Folks will find dev kits, or they'll purchase like cartridges with dev builds and things like that on them. And this one just happened to be like 2 really good builds. And this story comes from The Verge. Sean Hollister wrote this article. This was actually a previously unannounced game. Like, we had no clue that this game was in development. And it is called The Simpsons Bug Squad. And is it playable? Did y'all see that? Like, I saw them moving around, but I didn't know if it was.
They said there was a lot of slowdown, like some frame drops, so it wasn't polished.
Super early development.
But the cell shading on it was just unbelievable. Like, if you look at screenshots of it, it looks awesome.
And then we didn't have the Bumblebee guy, which was kind of sad.
So it was basically a tech demo, like you guys were saying, from 2000 from the long defunct Red Lemon Studios, and a Dreamcast Talk forum user by the name of Shriek found this demo just sitting on a broken Dreamcast dev kit's hard drive, and with a bit of help, the forum figured out how to make it playable. So I'm actually following that Twitter thread. I have been for a while, and I think it's gone now, but Assembler Games would have a bunch of that stuff, and I went through a phase where I was trying to compile and burn every Dreamcast build that I could get a hold of. So if you guys are chasing anything, I don't know of any good, like archive.org has official repository, but not a bunch of these random, like I have Half-Life and Toe Jam and Earl 3, like all playable builds of that stuff. So if that's something anyone is hunting down, I have gathered that stuff up. There's been a couple of recent ones. There's a racing game that came out a couple months ago that they're finding. They're still finding stuff. They're still finding Dreamcast games, which is awesome. There was another one.
They're still making Dreamcast games.
They are still making Dreamcast games. There was another one. It's not in this article. It was called like Take the Gun or Take the Shot or something. Did y'all see that one as well?
Yeah, it's from the same company.
Yeah.
I think that was another one that they got leaked out that looked pretty good too.
Yeah, they didn't put this in this article. I thought it was called
And
Take the Shot.
Couple weeks ago, that build of Superman 64, the port of it for PlayStation 1.
Oh god, they can keep it on 64.
Was found.
No.
Jesus.
Titus Games. So you gotta fly through the rings. That's the thing we used to watch on our lunch breaks at work, and we just laugh at, because I think one of my coworkers actually had that game. He's like, "Yeah, Superman. Yeah, I love Superman," and he said to this day he's still pissed.
So many people were looking forward to it.
He said he hasn't played in 20 years and he's still pissed off about it. So
cartridges were expensive, man.
Yeah, I mean he was, I think, in middle school, so it was like his game he had to deal with for like 4 or 5 months. He like begged for it and got it. And that was it for a while.
Dude, we bitch about things that Cyberpunk is broken, but imagine, that's kind of a exclusive example. We're able to get reviews and watch content and all that kind of stuff and make an educated decision, whereas your educated decision back then was, carefully planned screenshots by the developer. I guess that is Cyberpunk. And the box art. You had the box art to go off of in Toys R Us. You would flip over that thing and look at it and see if that was something you wanted to play.
Read that little blurb about the game on the back.
Yep. Yeah, but we had more complete games back then. I mean, I can't think of a really broken game until we got to the PS3 generation, 7th gen.
They would fix stuff. Yeah, I don't think there was anything like broken, unplayable, like couldn't complete it type thing. But like live patches and stuff like that. There was
I mean, outside of like you mentioned, we got a couple PS2 games where they patched stuff in for greatest hits, I think.
Yeah, and I heard a story of an original Xbox game that the gold copy disc shipped with like an online server that was pointed to a test server. So when people tried to go through Xbox Live, it was pointing to the wrong one. So they weren't able to, but they were able to release it through like a Xbox firmware thing, like, and included that patch. There it is. Take the Bullet, a first-person shooter that used the Dreamcast light gun, and it had some gameplay on it. Both of those look really, really, really good for Dreamcast. I think developers were really going to start hitting their stride with that before the plug was pulled, as it were. All right, Nintendo correspondent, take this Smash Brothers costume story.
Yup. So we were talking about, we thought it was going to be a little later. It turned out it was the next day.
Yep.
Sakurai debuted Sephiroth, showed him off. Sephiroth is awesome. He's already out. He released yesterday, which was the 22nd at the time of this recording.
Have you played with him yet?
Play. Oh yeah, I got to play. I downloaded him and played a little bit today. He's so much fun. But on top of that, we usually get some new Mii Fighter costumes, or so.
One of these is kind of a troll. I don't know how I feel about one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the Geno one? Are we upset about that?
The whole internet apparently the whole internet got a little hurt about that. So,
but
there we go. Here we
true.
go, everyone. Here we go.
It's true. He's not wrong.
with Sephiroth came these Mii Fighter costumes of Barrett, Tifa, Aerith. We got the Chocobo hat,
Which looks cool.
and the Geno Gunner outfit, and of course, they had to put Geno is from Super Mario RPG.
Instead of
the long,
not from Final Fantasy VII like we all thought it was, right?
They
Like we're just gonna
specified-
sneak him in here. Yeah, we got Sephiroth. There, everybody got Sephiroth. Then look over here. Bam, Geno, Mii Fighter.
as a Mii Fighter.
but that squashed anyone's hopes that Geno could be one of the remaining few Smash characters
No,
coming.
It's gonna be fucking Jonesy, and everybody's gonna be pissed.
Who?
Jonesy, that character from Fortnite, the blonde hair guy.
Oh.
It wouldn't surprise me. And they put Steve in Minecraft. They short shafted my man. They short shafted my man Alucard. They did this to Travis as well. Travis got put in a Mii Fighter costume. Bomberman.
They don't look bad.
Bomberman's a Mii Fighter costume.
Just don't look.
They don't look bad.
Yeah.
They don't look bad, and it's cool to see him in the game. And I'm not gonna sit here and like be super mad and quit the game, but it is a little disappointing on some level.
I mean, I get it, man. There's licensing you got to do. I'm sure everybody has to get their cut, and I guess they gotta. And I mean, I don't know, man. Some people just gotta, I guess, work. You gotta build that roster that works.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody'd be OP, I guess.
Cesar, this is a callback. You said Jonesy. My first thought was the cat from Alien.
It's also acceptable.
I was like, I love this character, but how is Jonesy gonna end up as a Smash character?
Richard's getting ready. I gotta end the call. All right.
Yeah, I'm done here. It's time to rewatch Alien.
How are we gonna make this character work?
Start mapping this out now. The Mii Fighter outfits are available for 75 cents a piece. Keep in mind, this is a standalone purchase and not included with the Fighter's Pass. Blah. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That story came from Nintendo Life. Thank you, Nintendo correspondent Brant McKee. I guess I'll take the Xbox story. Signing off.
I'll finish it out. I don't know what the last story is about, but I gotta guess what it is.
You're gonna take it. Oh God, you definitely.
It's a good one.
You definitely
man.
Get this story.
It's a good one.
All right, so these are your Game Pass. These are your games with gold. There's like 50 Xbox programs. These are your games with gold.
One's actually
for
January.
This is a good
decent.
Yeah, it's a good month.
Yeah, it's like the best month forever. And I double checked on. I guess I'll throw it out there. I double checked on Dead Rising. It is not the 360 one. It's the remaster. So you get the full blown Dead Rising. January 2021 games with gold lineup is here for Xbox One and Xbox XS series. When are we going to come up with a de facto? Can we come up with one as a podcast and just call it something?
I've just recently just started saying Xbox Series systems. That's all I say.
See, I like that, but I don't like that because they're backpedaling on all the Xbox One stuff.
What's going? I still don't understand why some things are going to Series X and not going to Series S. That's what I'm confused about.
Have they specified that?
I've seen some games that are listed for Series X, and I'm like, is that Series S also, or I don't know. And then they'll list it as X and S. I don't know if it's because we're not sure if it's coming to S, and we're still developing the game, and we might just put it on there.
It's confusing at best.
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe I'm overthinking it.
It's almost as confusing as the Wii U debacle. That whole era.
But that was
for,
we're kind of in the industry, and it's confusing to us. The Wii U thing was for consumers. That confused people not like us.
You know who was not confused? When we got the Super Nintendo and all those parents with this. They were aware there was another
that
console.
News article they like to trot out there. But this new Nintendo won't play your old tapes. And then there's some angry parent on there.
I spent all that money. And they didn't realize that the Super 8's out there. You can just play that shit. When did the Super 8 drop out?
We're totally derailing here, but I for some reason stumbled onto an old IGN article that was talking about the launch of the Game Boy Advance, and it was like, they've announced the price. It's only going to be $99.99, and I'm like, oh shit! If we could get a handheld these days and it was $100, it'd be all over it. Because me and Brant bought the in SR2, we bought the Super Mario Brothers. It plays one game, and it was $50. So
yeah, and it's going to explode on March.
It will. It'll. The battery's going to burn our hands up.
Yeah, that's why I kept mine packaged. It's like a nice little piece of C4.
It's gonna blow up in the package.
It is a box C4 essentially.
You're just gonna have Mario and Luigi brains raining down like confetti.
Don't feel bad because I paid all that money for that Astro City that's sitting right there. So
it looks good thoh.
It does
I need
look
to
good.
get some. I need to get some action figures so I can put them right in front of it. And
Yes,
like those pictures.
The one I sent you. Hey.
I got Tanjiro. I can put him up there for Demon Slayer. He can just be playing it.
Hey, somebody said those controllers are already in the Mister thing. You can use them on the Mister. That'd be the way to go.
Oh shit! Really?
Brant, me and Cesar were talking about this. When are we going down the Mister FPGA rabbit hole? Because you've done RetroPie. This will be the full.
I've done a little RetroPie.
This is the full thing, baby. Let's go. When are we going to start building Misters?
Mister.
All right, we played out that bit. Here we go.
Weren't they an '80s band? I'm trying to remember Mr.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Sister.
Them too. Twisted Sister.
That's awesome. There we go.
I brought it back around.
On Field of North.
Your Xbox Series games, which includes Xbox One and Series X and S, is Little Nightmares and the aforementioned remaster of Dead Rising. Through backwards compatibility, you will get the King of Fighters 13.
Oh, God. That's a good-ass King of Fighters.
Most unlucky of King of Fighters. This is a good one?
It's a damn good one. I'm looking at King of Fighters 14 right now, and I can't wait till 15 comes out.
As well as original Xbox title Breakdown, which was a kind of a revolutionary first-person storytelling action-adventure. I just remember drinking sodas out of the vending machine. It's a really good game. All four of these are solid.
Yeah, it's a good one. Finally.
At last.
Yeah. That's time.
We don't have our whatchamacallums up yet, do we? We don't have Nintendo ones.
Nintendo.
Not Nintendo ones. PlayStation ones. Yeah. I'm not the Nintendo
PlayStation. I looked and
it'll be tomorrow morning. That's how it always is. You always record, and tomorrow morning they'll pop there. And then
it'll be tomorrow morning or after Christmas.
I'm looking over this blog posting over the last few games with gold, and they just the months are like one or two good ones and then lemons. But this is solid. All four of these are really good titles.
It's a good month. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody enjoy. They will be on Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass Ultimate. So play as you wish. Cesar, bring us home on the news, sir. Tell us about that.
I actually looked at it today. And it's like, do I want this?
No. What is wrong with you?
4K,
240 frames per second,
240 FPS.
You have to get a new TV,
and it keeps your meals warm. I mean, come on.
They had me at 240 frames per second.
Sell me your TV so you can get the new TV to support that one.
Sure. Or I was just going to buy a second TV and just put it on top of it, and that way I can combine them. And then just have 240 frames per second that way.
You'll have 360 frames per second.
I'm going 360. I don't know. At that point, I don't know if anything's real anymore at that point. So today, this was not a joke because I know they were kind of teasing this, I think, right after the Sony did their show.
All thought this
and everybody thought it was a joke then. And then today, this console's real. And it's from KFC, and then from the KFC Gaming Twitter account. And it's called the KFC console. Thus, they combine the word console to the C in chicken for KFC console. It's essentially a VR ready high gaming PC, and it comes with a built-in chicken warmer. Boom, checkmate.
Or crystals.
As Richard always says, winner chicken dinner.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4K, 200 frames per second. I don't think they gave any details other than it's a real thing, and it may be one of those weird things where they only do like a certain amount, and they might donate whatever sales go to charity. It's probably gonna be super expensive.
There's some tech specs at the bottom. It's got an i9 in it.
So Intel Nuke 9 CPU, a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte SSD, and judging from the promise of ray tracing, I think it has an NVIDIA GPU, but it doesn't say which one.
Yeah, it's made by Cooler Master.
I think there was not much details outside of that. I mean, they didn't say release or anything other than it's coming soon, right? I'm assuming it's gonna be a limited amount, and it's probably gonna be whatever sales they do sell is probably gonna be charity. So
yeah, this is a marketing thing.
Yeah.
All right, I went with throwing Crystal hamburgers in mine with the packaging in there to steam it. What do you guys? What's your snack of choice that you're throwing in your KFC or your KF console, as Cesar calls it?
KF's console.
KF console.
KFC console.
Kind of funny console.
I'll probably keep chicken in there. Go ahead and just I'll put the Lord's chicken in there.
Brant staying on brand. What's the Lord's chicken?
The Lord's chicken.
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich. I'm throwing that in there.
You're crossing the streams, man.
Man, I used to destroy that spicy chicken sandwich until they changed up their salad dressings and got rid of the blue cheese, and it was never the same because I would get that blue cheese and pour that blue cheese on top of that spicy chicken.
I go Chick-fil-A sauce, so.
Not a bad pick.
Mine will probably be that Taco Bell quesadilla. I'm gonna keep it with the Yum Foods family since
Yum Foods. Yeah. And a Pepsi. You're gonna warm up your Pepsi in there.
I know it's
gotta have it's got to have a fixable cup holder to the side of the console or something.
What's the other one? Pizza Hut.
Yep, Pizza Hut is the other one.
Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC. The trifecta, the holy trifecta of fast foods. Oh shit! What is going off? All right, is that it for news? Everybody got out?
That is it.
That is it.
Kentucky Fried Gaming.
We might could use that as an episode title if I wasn't 100% sure it was going to take us down.
They might be cool with it. They might not be. It's a chance we all take.
Does anyone have a trademark on KFG? Should we have been Kentucky Fried Gaming as a podcast title?
We would.
As a brand.
We would be taken down immediately. I'm just kidding. KFC would take it. They would be like, oh, we want this.
Is that what the Twitter account is? Is it officially at Kentucky Fried Gaming?
I think that, or it's very close.
Oh shit!
And didn't they change it a few years back? Didn't they change it to like Kitchen Fresh?
It was Kentucky Grilled Chicken for a while.
Yeah. All I know is I've been to Kentucky a couple times, and I all know is that like the original KFC was there. I've been in the original KFC. So.
Oh, did you meet Colonel Sanders?
I met his statue, which is kind of like what they have like Ronald McDonald sometimes outside McDonald's is like a statue with him on the bench.
Yeah.
That's as far as I got.
So. Was he sitting on a bench?
He was in statue form sitting on the bench.
Did you sit down next to him and get a picture?
I did not.
Who would Taco Bell's person be? The Chihuahua?
Yep, the Chihuahua.
It used to be, and I just remember the Chihuahua in the Godzilla commercials. So.
That's when he came out with the Chalupa, or was it Gordita? It was the Gordita that he launched, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, God, we were tearing it up at that time. Godzilla came out. That was a good summer.
That was the reason why I was fucking 350 pounds of some Taco Bell, so.
You were smashing?
Hey.
Too much.
It hurts you, man. It'll put a hurting on you. All right, let's rank the fried chicken real quick while we're here. Brand already went with Chick-fil-A at the top. I'm going to put Kroger up there. Surprisingly, pretty high pick. I like me some Kroger fried chicken, and it's less expensive than the other sources that I get. So, Cesar, where are you going to for your fried chicken fix?
I'm always partial to New Orleans style Popeyes.
God.
Popeyes
used to kill red beans and rice, too. Remember that?
I love me some red beans and rice, yeah. I haven't touched it in years.
That was the heavyweight days.
Mm-hmm. They used to kill a lot of food back in the day.
That one up there in Lake City, we would ride up that one and get red beans and rice.
A lot of Zaxby's, too.
A lot of Zaxby's. A lot of what was that? That was like the Wings and Things Plus or something. It wasn't the normal one. We got
it was like the fucking full platter one, yeah.
Oh gosh.
We got the Hungry Man's. Oh, Brent, you should have known us back then, man.
Man, Richard was the first one to tap out. I was like, nope, because it was fucking him up. So
yeah, my body destroyed itself.
He tapped out. I stuck with it. I was like, nope, I'm gonna keep going.
I'm laughing now. It's been agony ever since then.
Hey, man, you figured it out. Some people still don't fucking get that shit under control, man. Props to you. You got it.
We'll see. We'll see what the end game of that is. It started off with KFC and Taco Bell. And Zaxby's and Popeyes. All right, games played. Am I kicking it off as usual? Mine.
Go for it.
Mine should be pretty brief. Lots of Halo. I have been off work this week, so any free chance I've gotten has been nonstop Halo. Friend of the show, Dale. We always play on weekends because we work through the week. His job does not extend him that same shift, so he's been grateful to join us through the week here. It's been a lot of fun. I played last week. I talked about wanting to play I call it the Ubisoft Breath of the Wild. It's Immortals Phoenix Rising, the former Gods and Monsters, which they should have kept that name for some ungodly reason. We ended up on a tangent last week trying to figure out, like, how do you play this on Stadia? Can you do the Uplay thing or all that? I didn't quite figure that out. But there's actually a Stadia exclusive Immortals, Phoenix Rising demo on the Google Stadia. Hold on, Brand.
How long is it?
It took me about 2 hours to play through. And to be perfectly honest, that gave me my fix for the game for some time. I wasn't 100%.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I wasn't. I mean, it saves me money. I wasn't 100% floored by it.
No, but I want you to be excited. I want you to be like, fuck yeah, and you're just next in line in Walmart. Like, give me that shit. You know,
I
like,
need it now.
I got that $40. I'm gonna put that shit in your hand. Let's go.
So my Stadia Pro expired, and I forgot this was one of the perks of Stadia Pro is that you get like the 4K 60 frame per second option. And it did seem like I told you I watched a bunch of footage on the game and had decided this was my cup of tea. This played at half that frame rate. It was probably 30 locked, and it performed perfectly. I'm still Stadia and apparently they have like the second best version of Cyberpunk that you can play. But Stadia as a platform, I'm pretty impressed with as far as performance goes. It's been awesome for me. But I played all the way through. You're playing in like Zeus and Prometheus are telling the story in the background, and they're kind of narrating the story. Phoenix is a young lady, and there weren't a whole lot of details on the story because apparently it's an exclusive thing, and I got a special set of armor at the very end of it that I had to redeem to my Uplay account. So whenever I fire that up on my platform of choice, I'll have that exclusive armor. It played a lot like Breath of the Wild. You have the same stamina meter. The combat was a little bit like, I guess this is like the way adventure games are trending to have this sort of combat, but it was a little bit like Jedi Fallen Order. Like there's a parry system and almost Final Fantasy 15, which I'm still battling through that battle system. More on that later. But gorgeous game, plays really well. It's like Breath of the Wild. And the mission is pretty straightforward. It's pretty linear. The flying is well done. That's different from Breath of the Wild, but it's not. It's basically the glider. I was trying to think that's a different element, but it's basically the glider. You're just flying with
Rivali's in there too.
Yeah, Rivali's Gale.
Rivali.
Just go shooting.
He's gonna tell you it's ready every 5 seconds.
Yeah. But I know there's more elements to Breath of the Wild if you get into the full game. Like there's 4 areas you have to go clear out, and I wasn't in that. I was just kind of in a general vicinity, and it's good. But I got my fix, so I'm not like gung ho for this game anymore. So
right, your itch. And then I was waiting for you to say the next part of your story is like, then I popped Breath of the Wild back in. And...
It did not transfer to that. I was not like, hell yeah, let me do this shit. What else did I play? Final Fantasy 15. Got some more time into that. I did not... So I went in to look for a battle system explanation demo. I told you guys that last week. And I didn't find anything definitive. I think I just need to unlock the wait mode on it and kind of go through slowly and pick my things. Because when I go on a normal battle, so there's like random side quests that you can pick up called hunts. And you can go, it's usually killing animals and picking up dog tags, things like that. But I run through those battles. I have no issues with them. I figured out my main conflict has been like with big bosses and stuff, where I haven't quite figured out what their method is yet. And it's those one-hit kills still. And I'm just like, this is not fun. I got to heal and do this. But one of the guides I looked at was telling me to use the warp points a little bit more, so you can shoot Noctis up onto like a ledge or something and have him hang out there and restore HP and MP. But again, in the boss battles, I haven't been able to, like, there's so much shit going on that it's hard to figure out where to go. And usually when I tap that warp thing, it doesn't go to the right place, and I'm just like shooting across the battlefield to get destroyed again. What I did find out useful in that video, and Brandon, if you're going to play it, this is a huge, huge tip. So much of the game is built on, and this is one of my favorite parts, is like camping with your crew, with the bros, and there's multiple places to stay in the world. You can stay in hotels, you can stay in like a travel trailer type thing, like a camper. You can camp where they pitch a tent, and they have like the Coleman equipment perfectly rendered and all that. Like you can read the back of the lantern and stuff like that, which is really cool. It does not bother me. The cup noodle shit does not bother me either. But
no, that's pretty funny.
As you do quests, when you rest, you turn in that experience for a certain percentage boost. So if you stay in a trailer, it's like 1.2%. If you stay in a nicer place, which is more gil, you get like a 2% boost or 2 times boost. So there's some varying effects on how you have to do those quests. And the loop got me briefly. People were waiting for me on Halo, and I had 3 quests that I had gotten in the same vicinity. And I was like, I cannot rest and save this game. I have to finish these 3. I have to take them back to the people that gave them to me. And I have to rest so I get all this experience. And when I did, it was like, you see them level up like 5 times. I was like, fuck yeah. So it's not so much the battle system that's starting to click with me. It's how to play the game. There's so many systems in this game. And I'm not great, admittedly, I'm not great at figuring out how all that stuff works. So there's some video guides that are super helpful. Again, the hunts are helping out because I can add those slowly. I did spam the game somehow. I didn't know it. So it's real time, right? You're not turn-based in an area. And to flee, you have to run out of there's a red ring that'll go up and you'll get music. You know it's a battle. And you can flee by running out of the red ring. So you want to stay off the road at nighttime. One of your party members, Ignis, who usually drives, he literally won't drive the car at night because he doesn't want to go out where these monsters are at. So he'll either make you manually drive or they'll all be like, hey, let's go back. Let's stay in a town. We don't need to be out here with the demons.
They've seen a whole bunch of horror films. I would do the same thing too.
They're strong, man. The first time I was like, what the fuck is the big deal? I'll keep going where I'm at. It's nighttime. I like seeing what it is. I ran into 2 on the road and they just wrecked me and that was it. So I was like, okay, they're scared for a reason. Never again. Yeah. So
listen to your friends.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of this quest. Prompto likes to take pictures. It's kind of his thing. And God, I love these characters are so fucking great. They really are. And one of the missions I got, it looked like the guy from Lost, Hurley. Cesar, do you know if that's him? Do you know the character I'm talking about? It looks just like him.
Yeah, Hurley, yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a photography mission. He's on the cover of a Weezer album, too. I think it's actually called Hurley.
That is also an accurate statement.
Yeah, he gave me a photography mission, and so I'm headed out there, and I'm already out there, man. It's getting dark. I'm like, fuck. And I'm so close to where I have to take this picture. And nighttime comes up, and here come the demons, and I'm like, holy shit, here we go. So somebody casts something. I don't know what got cast. It was one of my party members, but I'm running the whole time. So I get outside of that red circle, and I'm like behind a rock, and I'm seeing there's one big demon, and then there's like 3 other ones, and I just see their health, like they're just taking hits, like 720, 850, 725. Like I see them keep taking damage. And my 4 bros are behind rocks, and we're just right outside that red ring. And you can still hear the music pumping and everything. And I'm like, I'm going to cheese this shit. They did something, and all those things are dying, and I'm going to get a shit ton of experience. And I fucking sat behind that rock, no shame, and listened to the music and watched those health things too. And it was slow. Like these things are super strong. They're way over my level, my power. And I watched it ping them. I don't know if it was poison or what, but it was lighting their asses up.
There were some area they weren't supposed to be in.
Something happened.
I think you're ready for Final Fantasy 14. You can join me hiding in corners as people kill shit and you just form their experience until they bring the fight to you.
I'm ready.
Then they bring the fight to you. Man. All right, come on, bitch.
It was a thrill. I always tell this story, but it's like when I play Oblivion, I'm always like the stealthy archer type. And at that very first part, I'll put a rubber band around the controller and like creep by the rock and just let my stealth experience go through the roof before I even start the game. You'll hear the but man, I sat there and the thrill is okay, they're dying slowly, and it took about 5 or 6 minutes of watching them, and I didn't want them to find me and come after me because I was still close enough to where it's like just stay over there. And they were like the wolf. It was like 3 wolves and then this big iron giant thing, and the wolves were like they were getting closer and closer.
The Iron Giant.
Yeah, the Brad Bird movie. Man, the wolves were getting closer and closer, and I'm like, fuck, if they get over here, that's it. And then that Iron Giant's going to come smash me. And
yeah, but that's the best part because you always do it for like 5 to 6 minutes. Like, are they going to die? And then that's when you start fucking around. You're like, maybe I should go take a look. And that's how shit goes down. You know, that's usually how people fuck up. So.
I didn't. Well, the Iron Giant had like that much left, but by then I had everybody's special built up.
I just can't. I can't stop thinking of Iron Giant voiced by Vin Diesel. That's all I can think of now.
I should never say the Iron Giant.
That villain in there. Yeah.
I should never use that reference. That's our second straight Vin Diesel. What the fuck's happening? We turned into some Vin Diesel appreciation podcast. That'll be our copyright strike. I'll frame that shit. I'll put it right up there next to all the rest of them, Marty O'Donnell's and everybody's. But the Iron Giant thing, there you go, Cesar. It had one little bit left, and I had farmed a bunch of electricity magic, and I just went up there and lit his ass up and made him vulnerable, and then laid into him. And then I was like, yeah, you know that feeling you get? You took on something you shouldn't have beat. I just cheated.
Yeah, you came out from around the rock. You're like, yeah, that's what you get, bitch. Yeah.
I was hiding back there fucking you up. I don't even know what they cast, man. They were just.
I don't even know what's going on, but you just died.
I should have filmed it too, because the bros, like, I'm crouched down behind the rock, but the bros are like, they're in battle mode, so their animation is just like nonstop moving around, like they're just going back and forth.
Something, right? It must have glitched. They're casting something, and then it's like, yeah.
Oh, it's glorious. I couldn't believe it, because I was screwed. I was out there in the middle of the dark. It was nighttime. Those things were gonna fuck me up. I was like, oh great, and I just wanted to finish this mission, but it worked. I got my picture. I got mad experience. Another thing that was in that video, I wish I could give props to whoever I picked all these tips up from, but I was not eating to buff your party. Like, there's certain attributes and things that your party will not heal and stuff like that. Like, I kept using potions and it wouldn't go up. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It's Final Fantasy. And if you heal, you'll get buffs for like defense and offense and, you know, resistance to magic and things like that. And as you collect stuff throughout the world, Ignis will get, the driver's also the cook, Ignis will get recipes. And it always startles me, because it'll be like the end of a battle and we'll get pieces from the monster. He'll be like, what is the quote he says? He throws something out there like, I've got it. And you're like, what the hell, Iggy? What is it? And he's like, I've got a new recipe I'd like to try at camp. And then you remember that, Cesar? And
yep.
We ate in this guy's
restaurant. He's always doing some bullshit like that, yeah.
Yeah, one of the buffs I did was in a restaurant, and right after we finished eating, like, the cook's in front of us and everything. It's not Ignis. We're actually paying in a restaurant. And like I said, the production value's through the roof. Everybody's super animated. I ordered a specific dish for this buff to go out on this hunt. God, this sounds like a fucking MMO. What am I doing with my life? And Ignis, right in front of the cook and everything, he's like, I've got it. That's it. And he clicks his pen. He starts writing down the recipe. He's like, I can make this at camp. I'm like, that's kind of like a copycat recipe. I'm like, that's kind of a bitch move. You just straight up told this guy you're gonna copy his food and make it at camp.
I figured it out. That's pretty much what he said. I figured it out.
Oh man, that game is. I can't believe they gave us that on that PlayStation 5. What was it, PlayStation Plus collection or something like that?
Yeah.
God, it's
I'm just proud that you're finally playing it, man.
I am, man, and I'm pouring hours into it. I can't believe it's such a good game. It's not every time. Well, I usually put it in rest mode, but every time you boot it, the first splash thing they put up is they say a Final Fantasy for longtime fans and for everyone, or beginners or something like that. And it really is. It's a Final Fantasy game, but it's not. And I get how some people are angry, and I get how some people like it where it's not a, traditional turn-based, or it's not like 12 or 13, and it's just, God, this is a good-ass game, man. It is truly a Final Fantasy game. I was telling y'all about collecting the CDs. I got the Final Fantasy 9 discs. There's 2 discs. I got them. So I'm cruising around in the car, playing Vivi's theme.
Final Fantasy 9, what was that in the battle theme also?
I love the battle theme. I played Vivi's theme, and one of the ending themes, the through the open door or something like that, is just straight adventure music. And I'm like, it's like my calming game. It's my, except for the battles. The battles get me fired up, but it's like it's the journey. Like, I don't feel rushed. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything else. I will note this will be my last bit on gameplay. There's a character from the movie that I was telling you gotta watch, Brant Kingsclave. He has showed up twice in the game, and the guys don't really know who he is, but I know who he is. So
that eye look like.
Yep.
He's looking around like, all right, I know what's happening here. These fuckers don't know, but I know.
Yeah, I'm worried for him. I'm like, it says mysterious stranger or something next to his name, but he actually did introduce himself. But I don't know if they haven't put two and two together, because he's a known character in Kingsglaive the movie. So I'm waiting to see where this goes. And my actual next mission, and I did all those hunts and stuff I was talking about. It's in the town that he's waiting on, and I almost started the mission with him. So he's literally been waiting by his car while I did all these hunts and everything. He's just standing there, and every time I go to him, he's like, "Are you ready to go?" Because I'm driving, I'm getting in his car. So even at that, I'm like, lads, I'm not sure what this guy's intent is. But
you're doing the thing I love to do in games, where I'm just lying down laughing, making people wait. They're like, anytime now. I'm like, no, I got stuff to do. You got to wait for me now.
He's like, are you ready to go? And one of the things I did, those hunts were all like people. They were for people in the market. So it made all the ingredients cheaper in that market. It made the like the potions cheaper, the weapons master. I opened up his supply chain by doing the little missions that he had to do. So there's like some benefit in game, not just for the experience and the buffs, but it's kind of, I guess that's the Lestalem is the name of the hub world that I'm in. Tyler's girl asked, "Do I like Cindy?" I've met Cindy that one time, and then my car ran out of gas one time, and she towed me back to town. So Cesar said she's a great character. She's not that deep of a character to me yet. Her granddad Sid was, so he left more of an impact because he knows Noctis's dad. It seems like they go way back. He seems to know more than he lets on. So far Sid is more interesting than Cindy.
She doesn't get better until towards the end of the game, so we'll just leave it at that.
She says I hate her voice. Yeah, her voice kind of sucks, and the fan servicey notion of, because I mean I like pan the camera and I'm trying to check out the character model, and I'm like, those don't look quite right. They're a little too formulated. Her character model's a little off, but Cesar said her character pays off, so we'll see where that goes.
There you go, Richard. I found that. I found that meme for you. That's the one you're like when you see the guy.
Oh yeah, that's him. That
one. I don't know what's happening.
When he came sauntering up, Cesar sent me the infamous Leonardo DiCaprio recognition meme. What movie was that from? Was that from Wolf of Wall Street?
Hollywood.
Oh no, it was. Yeah. So Final Fantasy 15 consistently. That's an awesome game. I'm slowly like adding to the collection of that. The guide is super expensive for some reason, but I kind of fucked up on eBay and won it for $25, the deluxe one. So I've got that coming in. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I got the deluxe edition of the PS4 game that came with Kingsglaive.
4K at time now. We gotta buy the 4K versions now. Me and you.
Kingsglaive's good, man. Uncanny Valley. That's probably the best CG movie I've ever seen. And it came out like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it looks great.
When's that 4K coming out? February, I think they said.
For what?
The movie that just Wario put up there is you can pre-order the 4K version of Kingsglaive.
Oh, you weren't joking. I thought you were. No. I thought that was a bit.
They just announced that the 4K version is coming out in February. Yeah.
Throw my money at the screen. How do I do it?
I already pre-ordered mine. I usually always slip it in there and hope they drop the price at some point. I just get locked in. So.
Fuck, I'm about to look at that now. That universe, it's such a good mix of like, I always like. I don't think grounded fantasy is the right. We've had Final Fantasies that are high fantasy, like castles and knights, and like a Final Fantasy 9 or 4, a bunch of the early ones. And then we've had like the steampunkish, 7 and 8 were that, and 10 was the Asian island theme, which is its own unique, like, beautiful thing. And then this one is just like a mix of grounded, like I'm driving a car around and you have to fill up the car. You can get stranded if you don't put freaking gas in your car. So it's just, there's like some groundedness to it, and especially with the characters, and this is a fucking great game. I can't talk highly enough of Final Fantasy 15. But those are all my Halo, Immortals, Phoenix, Gods and Monsters Rising, and Final Fantasy 15, one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. And,
damn, there we go.
Yeah, hey. It's up there. It's climbing the list.
Fucking threw it out there.
Yeah, it's climbing the list. It may be alongside the addition of the anime and the movie. That might have helped a lot as far as the world building, but I'm in that world, man.
How many hours you got in there?
I don't know. You tell me. You were always looking at that clock.
I haven't taken a look. I'm trying to guess where you're at. I mean, it sounds like you're about halfway.
Going to our PlayStation correspondent. I don't know how I could be. There's something going on with his head, almost like Kate from Gears 5. So we're about to go look at that. I think that's where this character's taking me, the stranger. I think we're about to ride. We're about to ride down and check it out.
There's gonna be a point where you're gonna be like, oh shit. So you haven't gotten that point yet. So
I believe it's chapter 3, but I don't know how quickly the chapters roll through.
It kind of speeds up as you get towards the end. It kind of like you can tell that they were like, all right, let's get this game out, because you started seeing like they reached to the climax of the story very quickly. Okay. But that's how they filled it in with the DLC in there. Right. Like I think a lot of the DLC there's points in that main story where I don't want to get too much deeper with it, but certain characters do certain things, and that DLC kind of explains that time those characters are doing those things.
Yep.
So let's just leave it at that.
I've seen that, and almost all but one of those are in that King version. The what am I trying to come up with? The Royal Edition.
I was close. Royale with cheese.
Speaking of Royale with cheese, have y'all seen the commercial with them? With Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta? John Travolta is Santa Claus?
Yeah.
And
I saw the other one with Michael Scott as Santa Claus too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Samuel L. Jackson's wearing a shirt. So I started looking at his shirt. It says like holidays with cheese or something like that underneath it. I was like, oh shit.
It's like a fucking Pulp Fiction commercial, man.
It is
like,
a Pulp Fiction.
As it can be.
Capital One or something like that. It's damn good. All right, I've talked way too long. Brent, you're up. Give us those hot PS5 takes.
And before Brent starts, I want to let everybody know I'm a huge basketball fan, and the Hawks are winning 83-59 right now at halftime.
Yes. Ooh, that's a hell of a halftime lead.
83
points at halftime? Holy shit. We're missing a good one.
Oh, God.
So PS5, yeah. Most of my stuff has been all PS5. Before we started, I popped in Panzer Dragoon Remake on the Switch. That is a good looking game, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. But most of what I did was all PS5 related.
Excellent.
I wanted to throw a bunch of different things at it and see what it did. The only thing I really couldn't do, or just didn't have time to do, was go through the rigmarole to get VR going on it, because I did want to see
camera adapter and all.
Yeah,
VR troopers, man, you gotta get in there.
I just wanted to see the updates with VR, and I threw Ghost of Tsushima in there to see how that ran.
Yeah,
60 frames, freaking beautiful,
glorious.
Even faster than before, right?
Yeah,
that's even possible.
it loads faster. It still looks great, but it's got this different smoothness to it now, and that's probably my game of the year. But
oh god, spoilers for next week.
Man. Come on, man. Shit, we got one more week.
That's why I said it's probably my game of the year. I'll have to go back and look at everything, because this year's been kind of a blur. But I did that. I went through the whole process of upgrading Miles Morales on there from my PS4 version.
Okay.
What
did that process entail?
So it was really just put the game disc in, and go to the store and hit download, because the PS4 version unlocks the PS5 version.
Okay.
Once it downloaded, I did go to my PlayStation Plus like cloud saves, download my PS4 save, go into the game.
It's not very intuitive. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's not very intuitive pulling those saves down, because remember I tried out Skyrim a couple weeks ago, and I was like, where is this? And you kind of have to hunt for it a little bit.
For me, it wasn't that hard, but here's the thing. If you go ahead and do it that way, that doesn't bring your save over. Because once I downloaded it, I booted up the game. It was PS5, everything. My save wasn't there. But there's an option down at the bottom where you press R1 and it's supposed to migrate your save.
Yeah, transferring.
So I do that.
Kojima's dream is alive.
But I do that, and it says there's no PS4 save. So I'm like, I know there is.
But I think you have to upload it first, right, and then move it, right? I think that's what they said on Twitter account.
So
I didn't mean to interrupt and
I had to do some research and figured out that you have to go on your PS4, go into the game, go into the game selection screen, and then from there,
transferring.
Select upload game save, and then go back to your PS5. So I did that and booted everything up, and after that, because I had to turn off the PS5 and I was doing something else, and then finally got the save migrated, went back to PS5, booted up the game, and of course it booted up the PS4 version this time. of the game. So I had to exit again, quit the game, and then go to the PS5 version, which I've heard there has been an update and they fixed that.
As of today, I think, right?
As of today,
Yeah.
if you go and you are playing a PS4 game where it is a PS5 game, as soon as you hit play, it asks you which version you want to play. So thank you, Sony.
Thank you.
Brent, you forgot to turn on smart delivery.
But
I'm that guy who wants to keep playing my PS4 version even though I had the free PS5 upgrade. I'm like, no, get that shit out of here. I don't want to play the version of this game. Give me the old shitty version.
Because it defaulted to that, right? It always defaulted to the
for me, as soon as the PS5 version downloaded, that's the game it booted up. But once I turned the console off and came back to it later to boot it back up, it went default to PS4, which was odd. So, but that should be fixed now. But I booted that up, and I did since the game's come out, they do have that new option where you have 60 frames a second and ray tracing.
Yeah.
That's the option I did. I didn't think that game could look any better.
Hell yes.
But holy shit, that game looks so clean.
Awesome.
Tracing those rays, man.
We're in the generation of mirrors. I mean, how often do you go up to a window and you can just like clearly see a reflection like you're looking in a mirror?
In real life, every day.
In real life,
I stopped doing it in real life after I started playing these games. So it's like, fuck that. I can do this in a game. It looks great. I'm not even the real person.
Like, I don't have to look at my shitty face.
Usually you don't see that. You have to get the angle right and everything. But with this, it completely renders it. It's like a mirror. But I mean, it looks amazing.
Also,
and the game is so smooth. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt Brand anymore. I had more than I have. I apologize. I also want to add on there every time I look in the mirror, it's like, damn, I should clean this thing. Usually that's what usually happens instead of me looking at it. So, like, how did I let it get this dirty?
Yeah.
At least it's always clean in the game. So.
What did this? What is that toothpaste?
Let's hope so.
Should I invest in a splatter guard?
For my mirrors? Screen protector?
Sneeze guard for your mirror?
Invisifilm?
But I ran around in it, was so drawn in and so mystified by how it looked and played that I went ahead and started a new game plus. Started going through and actually had my first game crash on the PS5.
Send it back.
It actually
one a mini. You'll be there with me. It's okay. One a mini.
So I've played long enough to get to the first thing that they showed off when they showed Miles Morales, where he and his friend walk out into the snow. They walk around the busy city street and then go to his mom's rally. And then they're supposed to...
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Cesar's bug. Cesar had a bug in the game.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Brent.
So they go to his mom's like campaign rally, and
I've seen that clip.
Yeah, the underground, which is the like this group, takes over these big screens and starts talking about the energy company that's there in the city and everything, and it's the distraction from where they're going to steal that canister off of the bridge. I didn't get to the bridge. It got to the point where the attack at the rally started happening, and the game just hard froze and would not do anything. I had to just go and press the power button until it went off.
They didn't pull you out and give you that background music. It's like something fucked up. I don't think mine's ever...
It wasn't a crash. I should have clarified. It wasn't a crash. It was a freeze. It was a lockup. It locked up.
But when you boot it back up, did it give you that report? Like, hey, something happened. You want to send it? Because I think
rebuilding database.
Mine did a hard database. Mine did a hard lockup on the same game as well. Miles Morales. Because I remember mine, I had to sit there and force it to shut down, and then it came up with that report.
Yeah, but I rebuilt the database, sent the report and everything, and I booted it. It's fine. Everything's good. But I'll get back into that at some point. I'll probably try VR before I get back into that. But the main things I played are Sackboy.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
Yeah, here we go, man.
And
We can literally have to listen to an hour of this. Come on.
I expressly got a third controller, like I said I was thinking about last week. And it was funny, the kid at Target, he's like, "Oh man, this is the best controller that they've ever made, and I love it." And blah, blah. He's like, "Where'd you get your PS5 from?" And
FedEx.
we started talking. I was like, and I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I really enjoy this controller. It's my third one." He goes, "It's your third? What?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I got Sackboy. I gotta get the whole family playing." But so Sackboy starts off where it's happy little village of all the little sack people, and what's his name? Vex shows up. This big old like jester looking guy, and he uses like this giant vacuum thing and starts sucking in all these different little sack people up, and Sackboy gets away and has to now go and save everybody because Vex has basically enslaved them, and he's working to build. He's working to build.
It sounds like the Smurfs. You sure?
Yeah. What do you force a sack person to do?
Building this. He just calls it the topsy-turvy. So.
Holy shit!
Now we're just doing like a neocortex bullshit now.
I'm still not exactly 100% sure what he's doing, but it's definitely, not good.
Okay, we're not. Sackboy looks great. We're not here for the plot, though, right? Okay.
No. We get all three people, me, my son, and Katie, and we get in, start playing. It is basically like a 3D Mario world. I mean, even to the point where if somebody gets too far ahead or falls back, depending on the area, they could just die and cost you a life. But more often than not, they get like this little propeller thing that gets them and pulls them up and brings them to you. So, we're having fun. I mean, you go through the level. There's these little orbs, and then there's like these big orbs that you can collect. And if you collect all of them in the level, because some levels have 5, some levels have 3, but if you do that, you get a stamp for the level.
That's like the golden coins or whatever, the red coins for the level.
Basically, yeah, it's like the red coins is exactly.
You're selling me on it. You're itching me closer to the full price.
And Richard even sent me a thing like, what was it, Thursday or Friday? You sent it to me that the update had come out for online.
The online
multiplayer
update.
On that,
because you were like,
so we could all get on there.
And then I sent Cesar BrandSmart link, hoping he would go scout it out and see if it was there.
I'm like supposed to be 40 every time that shit happens. Yeah, I'm always over 10. It's 9 times out of 10 they have it there, and it's never the price is advertised. They always look at me like.
The one time I got it was remember when they did the new Call of Duty game every year for like $30 on launch day? I got Advanced Warfare or whatever that one was, and never played it. It's still sealed, and you can get it now for like $5. So
I think my Advanced Warfare was the last skit I got from there, because I remember I tried last time where they had like a Skyrim and all that shit was like 29. All those Besta ones, I went down there, it was still 59. They had them all, but they were ringing up a regular price. And
fucking BrandSmart. It's a regional problem.
Yeah.
All right, so, Brand, I have 2 questions for you. Oh, wait, you're still going. You're still going.
Yeah. So you run around the level. You can collect different unlockables for your character to dress up your sack person.
That answers one question.
There's
it's very current.
There's currency you can get into the level. They look like little bells. And then eventually you get to this wacky like shopkeeper, and he's got all these different things, whether they're just like a weird item you can hold, like a frying pan, or different,
awesome.
Hats, clothing, or full costumes. Like you could dress up and be like a piñata. You can be a tiger. You can be all these different little things, or you can just mix and match and be this. You have like some crazy, like you're wearing like a toboggan, but you've got like the giant butt of a pinata.
Hell yeah.
And you're holding like a monk's staff. So
you're saying this game's like Viva Pinata? That was my second question.
Yeah.
You can pick up players. You can throw them. There's different other little things like if you've ever played any of the Little Big Planets, you sometimes have those like giant cylindrical. They're not platforms, but different things in the game as you're going, and you can jump and grab some of them and just spin on them and things like that. So, but it is very, very Mario-esque.
Awesome.
It is.
That's high praise.
A lot of. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. When you pick up players or different items, because there are some things that you have to pick up and throw. That's about the only time you notice the adaptive triggers is you get a little weight once you pull something and pick something up and you're holding it to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
I couldn't find that in any of the reviews. That was one of the other things I was going to ask you. Like, does it take advantage of the DualSense in any way?
No, I mean it's
not to Astro's Playroom levels.
No, not to Astro's. Yeah, I'll get to Astro in a second. But I think we went through the first complete level. There's another little area you can like do off to the side, and I think it's just one of those levels that as you keep going, you can go back to it and reach different parts of it as you go through. But we did the whole first entire area. We did the first boss fight, and I mean, it's all my kid's been talking about is like, when can we sit down and play Sackboy again? When can we sit down and play Sackboy again?
That's it.
So Sackboy is a very, very good game. Awesome. I enjoyed it. I also I sat down with Bug Snacks for a little bit. That is
sounds like my impression.
I'm glad it was free.
Damn.
I'm not like super into that. I'm sure some people will like it, but it is not my game.
It's out there, right?
Yeah. The most we got out of it was like saying bunger the rest of the night. That little
bunger.
The burger creature, they call it a bunger, so we just kept calling each other bungers the rest of the day.
Bunger.
I did play a little bit of Worms Rumble.
We got worms
before I deleted it.
We don't have worms.
So I downloaded it and got into the main menu. I'm like, so this is looking a little different. And I was looking forward to playing Worms with my family, and they, they've played a couple Worms games with me. They enjoy it. Looking at it, it's very like PUBG or Fortnite-esque. You get in, there's your selecting options, and there's your worm right here on the side. I'm like, this is odd. Is this gonna be one of those? So I get in, it gives me a tutorial, and it's a very it's a level with like made tunnels and things, so it looks like it's a building or something. There's vents and things you can go through. It explains that you can go into the vents, you can hide in there, you can see other players, but they can't see you until you get into the vents.
This is back to Alien and Jonesy.
It gives you some of the different guns to play around with. The guns use the adaptive triggers. So like the pistol, it's going to have the single action kind of deal. The assault rifle is, it's going to jump back at you. The rocket launcher is going to be a little bit harder to pull that trigger, and you're going to feel a good kick when you do it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to feel all that, but then once I did all that and got comfortable with playing, I was like, okay, we'll go and see what this is. It is basically, my son described it as Fort Worms of Duty, because you can basically microtransaction to get your worm looking the way you want, or I didn't really look and see if there were loot boxes. I'm sure it's got some kind of form of them.
They've succumbed to current trends.
But it is basically, you get in, it puts you into a group of 3. I never saw the other people that were on my team.
This does sound like PUBG.
I was literally just in
Everybody's
like
in their own fucking
a
thing.
single tunnel and just kind of like walking around, and if another enemy worms come, just start spamming grenades and trying to shoot and trying to figure out what I'm doing. And it's very, because the mode I played, it was like a team deathmatch or something, but it wasn't Worms for me, and it was trying too hard to be something else just with that Worms
background
skin
to it.
on it.
It's the Worms cinematic universe, man. That's what it is.
Worm skin.
Oh gosh,
we can't have a Worms title 2 weeks in a row.
Well,
so
I mean, you gotta look at it this way. There's a reason why that game was a PlayStation Plus for free. Yeah, I'm sure it is very different to what you. Yeah, it's very different to what you you're used to as a Worms franchise. And I think when I was reading about it, I knew it was. This was like their pitch on to help evolve Worms into the future with
the next generation.
Team 17, right? Mm-hmm. So it seems like they may have lost a customer with you, sir. Hopefully they don't keep on this trend.
I mean, if you guys were looking to try it, we could, but like it is not a game that I would be looking to continuously play on my own.
Would it be fun multiplayer? More fun?
It might. I mean, because there might be some strategy to it. And,
yeah. Well, again, they may have pivoted to a way that you don't really like, but you still have all those Worms games that you do enjoy to pop in. So it's just a letdown that the new one is not great.
Still have all those Worms.
Still have all those throwback Worms.
Everybody. Man, which was probably up there, graphic fidelity for PS5. I'm going to talk about technical fidelity as far as the DualSense goes to Astro's Playroom, which is one of the greatest PlayStation experiences I've ever had.
Yes.
That game is so damn PlayStation, and I loved every second of it.
It's a celebration.
Going through and just being amazed how the DualSense handles everything and reacts, and just what they can do with that controller, as well as going through this massive love letter to PlayStation. And it got me so much when I saw the little reference to all the different games, God of War, Horizon, you had
Heavy Rain,
Ridge Racer,
Death Stranding, Metal Gear,
Heavy Rain, Death Stranding, Fat Princess. Yep. Oh, the forgotten franchise, Fat Princess, as well as what got me was seeing the reference to The Order, and then immediately after, the next collectible I got was the PS Vita. I was like, "This is my shit right here," and these are the forgotten things.
I don't remember the Order one. Do you remember what level it was on?
Oh my gosh, it's
GPU Jungle.
I believe it's GPU Jungle.
Fan Highway or whatever.
It's right there before you get to the bridge where you first get the bow and arrow to blow up the little bombs.
I don't remember seeing that. I'm gonna have to duck back in.
It's right there on the corner. Awesome. Yeah.
Did you?
And it took me a second too, because I looked at it and it's just this little Astrobot dude, and he's got the jacket on, and he's got this little gun, but the gun has like a bunch of electricity on the end of it, and he keeps like he's sitting there, and there will be like two bots on either side, and this one pops up and he turns around and points the gun, and then that it goes down and he turns around because the other one pops up, and they're just like all dark, and they're acting like they're like a monster or something. Awesome. So I looked at it, I'm like, what is that? Like, that's The Order.
Yes.
So my only question is, if you sit there long enough and watch it, does it tell the story of the second game?
The Order 1887. Galahad's Adventures.
And I love that game. That game, like you said, Richard, you talked it up, and it lived up to the hype. It exceeded the hype.
Game's awesome.
It's good.
I love that game.
Good.
It's so.
Did you beat
good.
it?
The one thing. Oh yeah, I platinumed it.
Yeah, it's easy platinum. Yeah, it's easy platinum.
The final boss is just. I couldn't believe it.
And that's the thing, is it took me a second because there's multiple things that show what the final boss is. There's multiple references to that. I don't know if we just want to go ahead and go out and say it since we've all played it.
It just might be spoilers for listeners. Just skip ahead a minute or two if you don't want to hear the final boss of Astro's Playroom. It's a cool PlayStation thing.
Yeah. Or just skip to the end of the podcast.
Don't do that. A minute or two. Shouldn't take that long.
So yeah, it took me a second because this was actually something that I had seen in a video like 3 or 4 months ago, talking about the history of the PlayStation and talking about the graphical fidelity and the specs showing the original PlayStation and how they pitched it to people. Yeah. So going through certain levels and seeing that little like T-Rex model, I was like, oh yeah. So and then coming back later and platinum the game and then get to the end, when you go through and it's, you know, demo one, I'm like, okay, what's this? And you go through and then all of a sudden I see this T-Rex bopping up. I'm like, T-Rex, why is it that was
such an awesome moment.
And just the way it unfolded and all the animation, and then they changed the little Astrobot people to the polygons, and that was a good ass game.
So many cool touches.
Game. I will say the one thing that kind of made me sad is Labo, because you can see the history of PlayStation laid out before you. And when you have the PlayStation 1 and you look at everything with PlayStation 1, you can see it was the start of something new. It was very ambitious, and you could see all the things they did with it. And you jump to PlayStation 2 and they got more ambitious, and they had all these crazy add-ons and, you know, all this stuff, and it even kind of carried over to PlayStation 3, and they still wanted to go with the motion controls and all this other crazy stuff. And then they got into the handheld scene, and then you go to PlayStation 4 and it is all 3 models of the PlayStation 4 and it's the VR. And then it's like, wow, they stopped being as ambitious. They started playing it more safe. They really don't want to get out of their realm. They really don't want to take any chances. And, you know, when you go back and you see like the PlayStation 1 and the mouse and the what was it, the little PlayStation Pocket. I know we really didn't have those over here.
The Pocket Station.
But seeing that was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. And seeing all these different things that they did, and it's like, wow, you know, a lot of game companies don't really do stuff. I mean, Nintendo they get out there now. They're about the only ones out there that still put stuff like Mario Circuit. Yeah, you know, that's just something crazy off the wall. But you know, a lot of game companies, they're just, this is it. We do controllers. We do games, and we do hardware. You know, we're not going to go crazy off the wall with something over here or try something different, take a risk and do this. And so that part, I was like, it was so cool to see everything together, but it also to see that evolution. I was like, man, that just, I don't know if that means I'm old.
Oh God, you just made it the depressing game of the year.
I was like, is this like me old, or is this just the sign of the times, just the industry? That, you know, how the industry's become this way.
You're the old man yelling at the sky.
But I enjoyed the hell out of that game. That is such a good game. It is such a good experience. And for me, growing up with PlayStation throughout my life, it was cool to see this culmination, this whole collection of everything PlayStation. So,
I mean, the only thing we never confirmed is, did they snub on Genji? Did they snub Genji?
Oh,
I remember seeing Genji anywhere in there.
Well, I didn't see the order, so I had missed that one. Genji Days of the Blade with the giant enemy. It had to have a giant enemy crab if it did.
The crab, remember? Yeah.
there's a few things that I was like, I didn't really see, and I can't remember off the top of my head,
Yeah.
what it was. I didn't really see. I want to say there was a Parappa, but I don't remember.
I think I remember seeing
there
the
being
beanie.
one. I think I remember seeing like a little nod to it, but I don't remember like actually seeing like full on. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm more partial to Jammer Lammy myself. So
That's the only one I have. I don't have the other one. I don't have
they
Parappa.
they even had that jumping
Flash.
What was it? Jumping Flash in there. I saw that giant rabbit hopping across the screen. I'm like, there we go.
There was like a whole level. That was like the ball level, wasn't it? When that thing was jumping across, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still pissed they didn't have Toomba in there either.
Oh. Yeah, no Toomba. There was a bunch of things that I was like, that was all really cool to see. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, there's a good bit that got left out. I'm wondering what the deal with that was.
Picking apart my game of the year. I can't have this anymore. I'm going to ban you.
I'm also partial to Wild Arms as well. I didn't see any Wild Arms.
Yeah, Wild Arms.
It's another Sony property.
Legend of Dragoon. And it's one iteration.
It's Richard's picture always, like all these games and not you, the RPGs, not you.
Not you.
Everybody come join the celebration.
Not you. Nope.
They even seeing the they even gave a nod to what was it, VR Worlds, the demo disc, where they had like the Astrobot in the cage, just looking around and stuff.
That was one of the best games this generation, in my opinion, was that VR World demo disc.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation.
That whole thing. Was
I keep weighing on this. I don't want to go back to it and make it a big thing, but PSVR is such a big like co-platform alongside PlayStation 4. I do get a lack of a handheld and maybe some changes in like, but we still have arcade sticks. We don't really have light guns outside of Move controllers, but PlayStation VR was such a huge part of that PS4 ecosystem. But I miss having a Sony handheld. I liked both the PSP and the Vita and supported both. And I would like to see them. But, it's the beginning of the generation. We didn't know PS4 was going to turn out to give us PSVR and bring back Move controllers. Like, I had just shoved them into a drawer. It's like, I need these things again, and I'm going to interact with them in new ways. So I do look forward to what the generation will bring us. I want to see more of that type stuff, though, too, like you were saying. Maybe we get it with like cell phone integration or some sort of, xCloud type experience, and maybe that's the way it goes. But I do like the tangible, I guess, bits of plastic, like the crazy shit that they come up with that Nintendo still does. Like, the Mario Kart circuit is just a bit of plastic, and Labo. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Labo as you're looking at it. The Nintendo Labo, just more thinking outside the box stuff where Sony has always driven that along with Nintendo. As for innovation, yeah.
The problem is they're not the same company they used to be, because you remember Sony had a lot of hands in different places for a lot of different products, and they took a hit when a lot of that business was consolidating, and that's why you have PlayStation's one of their I think the CEO says one of their pillars, right. And that's the whole reason why they're trying to make anime one of their pillars, because he said to help offset the cost of all the hardware they produce. That's the reason why they made their deals to get Crunchyroll and to buy Funimation, to get subscription base, to get a flow of money coming in. That was the CEO's pitch. That's why, because Sony had a chance to buy Crunchyroll 10 years ago for less than $100 million, and they passed. So now they're paying $1.2 billion.
What's their third pillar? So, they have Game Boy and they have DS. What's their third pillar?
There's 4 pillars for Sony. I know video games is one of them. Anime is the other.
Music.
Music and movies. I think they're the same one. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the 4th pillar is. I know anime is their newest pillar. They were making a big deal about
the 4th pillar is that one VAIO computer that Mark Cerny was using at the presentation.
That was my highlight of that show. I had to research, and I was like, "Oh, Sony owns 25% of that company." I was like, I didn't realize I thought they let that sucker go.
I had been looking at it like, is he using a VAIO? And you text me right in the middle of that presentation. Dude, he's on a Sony VAIO.
that was the most impressive thing I saw. I'm like, fuck everything he's saying. I was like, he's on the fucking Sony Vaio all the time. When's the last time you seen one of those? I was like,
that shows how close attention we were paying to his tech deep dive, which was interesting. But he was on a Vaio, man. Come on.
If he would have put some headphones on and walked off the stage with a Walkman, I would have been done. I'm like, I'm out there buying everything. Yeah.
They have hi-fi Walkmans. I've looked at those.
Yeah.
They're super expensive.
Super fucking expensive. That's what walks me back. I'm like, nope.
I still have my mini disc player. I'll keep using that.
I want to mess with one. I want to listen to it and hear it just once. Mini disc.
I'll just load my 8-track codecs on my mini disc player.
Brent, is that all your games played, sir?
That's it. Passing it on to
PS5
Cesar.
hot takes, and he hates worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a simple man. Mine's going to be very short and sweet. Majority of the game I played this week was Trails of Cold Steel 4. I think I'm 40 hours into it now.
Are you playing that on PC?
And No, I'm playing it on PS5.
Because something showed up
PS4
on Xbox as you having played some Trails game, unless it was something on PC.
Oh, I fucked up and fucked around and started playing Trails in the Sky.
That's what
Steam,
it was. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I already played it on PSP. I was like, let me look at what this PC version
I saw
is.
recently played, it showed up on the Xbox when I was playing Halo. I was like, what the hell? Is he playing that on? There's no way he's playing that on Xbox.
Yeah, Tits, Trails in the Sky. As they affectionately call it on the internet.
I'm sure.
They always threw me off. I was in the forums and they're like, yeah, I played Legend of Heroes Tits. I was like, Tits? I was like, oh, Trails in the Sky. I was like, oh, okay, I guess if you do take the first letter, everyone does spell that.
And you see the Ocarina of Time as Toot, and I'm like, who does? I've never. Toot is the best Zelda game.
Somebody sees it and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna murder with this. That's how people are. I finally got the main character back after 30 hours. You play as your class and you're trying to reclaim your main character. And I won't go too much into it because I'm still kind of figuring out what's going on. And the story is like they're wrapping up this whole saga that they built on since Trails in the Sky. So it's like they're kind of putting a pin in it and like, all right, everything we got going, you can tell it's going that route. They're playing the whole apocalypse thing where it's the end of the world and they're trying to stop it. And so they're kind of like fighting their own countrymen to stop it from happening. So, because he already had the same words, very, very like kind of like our World War One-ish, where you have all these countries get annexed and taken over, and then they just become part of it, and then war starts happening because at some point you just can't do whatever the fuck you want. So
they really lean into that European history that you had showed us the map of last week. They really borrow from that, but it's intriguing, and you add good characters to that backdrop.
And I think they said the Republic of Calvert, the next game series I was telling you about, they said that one's Eastern, so that one has they said is Asian experiences in there, like China, Japan, and they said it also has it, since that country's so big, it also has the Middle East in there, so it has some of their influences in there as well. Outside of that, like I said, I'll keep tripping away with that. I'll hopefully get that done this week since I'm also on vacation. The only game I'm really willing to talk about is I did pick up Pathless on PS5.
Oh.
That I think ended up popping up on sale at Walmart for like $39, and then I had my as Richard did too. I had exactly $40 in rewards on my credit card. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, it's free. Let me go with it. So I got it. What was funny was I was supposed to get it after Christmas. And then all of a sudden I got a notification from Walmart like, your order's been upgraded, and it was delivered to my house. And I was like, okay, I didn't even ask for that. I asked for it to be shipped to me, and it somehow got upgraded and got delivered by DoorDash, which was cool. Whatever. Yeah. So it came that night. I popped it in there. It's like a combination of I can see the influences they have, like Princess Mononoke in there. I can see the influences they have, and Legend of Zelda.
Those are the two vibes I got from the trailers I've seen.
The main character is very Journey-esque, as well as the movements as well in certain areas. So you basically start out the game and it tells you there's like a darkness that erupts around this world, and this main character, which I think still doesn't have a name, she paddles out to this island, and you find out this island is like a isle for gods. So there is like a mother eagle who's like the ruler of all the gods, is on the verge of death, and is almost killed by this being that's called the God Slayer. Apparently, as you go through, I see each plateau has different gods. So as you go through, your first mission is you kind of rescue the mother eagle and bring her back to life. You have to get these talismans, and what the whole game is built on is each section you have a section that deals with a certain god, and you have to get a talisman, and there's like 3 of them. You have to have 3 to complete the level so far from what I can see, because I beat 2 of them. And so what it is you have to do a puzzle based system where you have to either you look at the before I get ahead of before you get in there, you get like a visor which kind of shows you like a different view of the world. It's kind of like
the Metroid Prime scanning thing.
Yeah, it's like infrared. You can do triangle and go on there. It gives you a warning before you put on there, like, be careful. You using this, you may never see the world the same again. It doesn't tell you what happens, but there's little hints in there that, this is not going to end well for this main character. So, because there's a lot of lore too. You see there's dead bodies everywhere, and you see their spirit floating up, kind of like demon souls. And you can kind of put that visor on there and look at their soul, and they kind of tell you a story of what's going on, like, about I'd never seen the god act like this before, and this god slayer, they said he used to be a man, but he's not a man anymore. He's not human. And so you get little bits and pieces as to the lore from these dead bodies. So as you go through, you kind of use this visor, and it kind of shows you the area of the plateau. So if you get lost, you can you put it on there, and anything that's kind of in red is your area you want to do attention to. It's like, all right, I need to go over here and do something, either and most of the time it's A, to get a talisman, or B, they give you like these little yellow crystals. And these give you upgrades later on that I'll get to in a minute. So it didn't tell me until later on until I figured it out. But so essentially each like talisman has like a different puzzle. So sometimes it's like, okay, there's a kind of like a Legend of Zelda where you have to shoot the bow and arrow and hit a target up top. So sometimes it's like hit a target like that, and it opens up a door and you get a talisman, or you get like a carrying like a heavy weight, and you can put it on the platform, and it opens up another area, and you get a talisman. They're different puzzles with different varieties of difficulty, and they do get harder as you go through, and they do require you to think a little bit more outside the box. Like, okay, I got to do this and this, and whatnot. So as you go through, you unlock 3 pillars. You kind of revive the Mother Eagle, and she kind of flies into her nest, and then you see the God Slayer come down, and he basically kills her. And so the Mother Eagle gets reincarnated into an eagle, like a live eagle, and you use that as your pet. It's kind of like as your familiar that's helping you out. She's telling you, like, all right, go save my children. The other gods are still alive, but they're corrupt. So please save my children. So it's kind of like the eagle kind of guides you to the next plateau, and that's where you get the ability to kind of grab on, and you'll flap up, and more of the platforming aspect goes on there. That gives another depth in the similar, like kind of Breath of the Wild, where you can kind of jump and climb up plateaus that way with the eagle, and you have to let it rest before you can use the next feather, and that's what the upgrades come in. Is that as you fill out the upgrades, you get more abilities to use more feathers to make more jumps. But outside of that, as I go through, I went to the next area, which was like an elk, which reminds me almost like the human face elk from Princess Mononoke. It looks almost like that with a hole in the center and everything. Yeah. It has like these weird gods. They look like gods from the Mononoke world. And there's like there's like a nod towards the end when you save it where it's kind of walking on water, kind of like that god in that movie too.
These are good references.
So as you go into the next area, you'll see the corrupt elk, and he it's like a giant red ball, and it lets you know, like, all right, you got to go over here, you got to do the same thing you did before, you got to get these talismans, and then you got to put them in these towers, and these towers kind of give you certain areas of the map where it kind of heals it. It stops that red madness from spreading. So as you go through and you unlock the area, you get into like these battles every so often where you'll get put in the red mist. And like the first one, the elk kind of has like these high beams, and you have to, like, you're crawling in the grass, and you have to stop moving when it looks for you. So like your eagle partner kind of gets thrown off because it gets corrupt from the red poison, and you have to find it. So it's like you got to crawl around as the elk's trying to hunt you down. And you got to stop when it's looking at you. It's kind of like that game you play as a child. What's it called? Go, stop, whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about.
Red light, green light.
Red light, green light, yeah. So it's like as you go through, and it gets harder and harder. Like there's one that's like, all right, it doesn't see me when it moves. It's kind of like the fucking T-Rex, and that fucker just ran in there, hit me, and knocked me out the whole thing, and just fucked me up. I was like, I thought if I didn't move, I'm good. That fucker just saw me and ran towards me. I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I had to keep moving, but it was right in front of me. So I was like, I was gonna get caught either way, so I was fucked either way. So like the whole thing is, it kind of gives you an idea what the boss is and what it does. And you look at the boss, and I think I had eyes on each of the legs, and that's where you have to shoot it, but you couldn't do anything because you're trying to find the eagle. The eagle gets knocked out because it gets infected. So once you find the eagle, you get pulled out of that world, and it's got like this kind of, it looks like it's like burn marks all over it. So you have to like hold your eagle and kind of like pet it, and it pets the negativity off of it. And then after that, you get the full ability back. As you go through,
sounds good. This sounds way better than the pitches and trailers I saw.
It's really, it's not what I thought it was going to be, and it's really fucking good. It's and like I said, the character, like I said, I ended up being that first god and saved it, and I'm now got to go to the next plateau for the next god, and basically it goes out there and say, okay, the next god's up here. The battle system it's similar to like a Legend of Zelda, where I think when I did the first battle, there's 3 eyes on each side, and each one is like corresponding to a joint on the leg. I hit the bow and arrows on the right side, and I have to like kind of maneuver, and then go on the left side, hit the 3. And it's like a 3 of 3. So I got to get the eyes, do the attack, and then you move into another set of battle skills. It's very Zelda-esque, where like I'm put into an area and I got to like dodge like fires coming out there and still do the same thing before. Just a higher difficulty. And then it starts doing a different attack, and it's very similar to like when Ganon would use to hit back and forth with the magic thing. I have to like shoot the magic thing and it lands on him, and then I can over there and do another attack. So you can see like a lot of Zelda references in the battles.
Zelda and Princess Mononoke is not a bad combo. How does the movement work? This is the one that like when you would see how quick it moves and it seems to like bounce back and forth. How does that play out?
So yeah, that was the next thing. So your weapon of choice is a bow, and it does use the HD rumble. So like as you get on the beach, you can kind of feel the rumble as it goes in there, and it does use it. It doesn't use it as deep as some games do. It's very subtle. It also uses the resistive triggers very subtly. So it's not like if you played, Brent, where you played Miles Morales, where it's kind of like fighting you when you're doing the web as a like, it kind of lets you know it's restrictive on how to do the web and get into a rhythm with it. This one, it is very loose. It's like I have to just it expects you to hit the trigger very light. And then I can feel the power up, and I can feel the trigger just do like a boing type thing where it just pops. And it lets you know when you can let go of the arrow. So as you go through, that's tied to your R2. As you go through your L2 is your quick move. So you get a stamina bar at the bottom. So you can't just run through the whole game. So kind of like they've shown in the videos before, what they expect you to do is there's talismans kind of floating in the air, and you use your bow to hit the talisman, and they give you like stamina as you go through. So what ends up happening is you get into a rhythm where you're hitting down the L2 trigger and you're running through the levels as you're hitting the talisman with your bow as you go through, and it gives you a boost to run through. And if you get it down and get it nailed down, it's very smooth and very nice. It's like you're going high speed and you're making these jumps, because every time you hit a jump and you hit a talisman, it jumps even higher. So it's like it's a way. It's very skill based, where it's very rewarding as you go through. You're like, okay, if I can get into this rhythm, and you get into a rhythm with it, is and awesome.
that movement is smooth.
Yeah, and it gets tough when they expect you to do that movement in boss battles, and it gets tough in that first boss battle with the elk. Because there's a lot going on. They're shooting fireballs at you. There's fires in the ground, and there's more maneuverability you have to do. You have to get pretty good with it, because if you get hit back, then it's like it throws you way back. You got to get caught up. So So I mean, I've just got to the first boss. It's there's, I think you have another 2 more gods, and then the next plateaus, and they go higher and higher. And then there's like a ominous kind of like rock floating in the air, and that's where the God Slayer is, and that's where the final battle is supposed to take place. So you're supposed to slowly make your way up there as you free these children to get up there. So I've only beaten the first boss. I still got to do the next 2 before I can get to the final one. But yeah, that's it for me on the Pathless. I think that's all I played this week. So. It's actually pretty.
I'm more sold on it.
Worth the price
than I was before. Trailers and stuff didn't really convey all that.
Yeah, because when I rolled the dice, I was like you. I saw the trailers and I was like, I'm like, but I'm glad I did. After. I think the learning curve was maybe about 15, 20 minutes, and I started getting in the rhythm with it. I got lost in the game, kind of like when we played Journey. Yep. When I played Journey, you kind of get lost after a certain amount of time. I did the same thing with this one. I just kind of get lost and just go with the flow, and then worry about trying to like. Where some games is like, let me just try to beat this. Let me try. I'm just enjoying it as I go.
You have that 10 to 15 minutes of like, what even is this? And then it just starts to click, and you keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like you'll see your eagle friend will kind of help you with the puzzles and all that stuff. You get into rhythm. Nothing's too difficult, so it doesn't like shoot you away. I mean, there's a couple where I was like, how the fuck do I get over there? And I have to like put the visor on and look around and like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. And it's like, oh, I'm supposed to go up here. Before I would try to do some dumb shit like jump and get up as high as I can, jump down and float down there. Like I'll do it. I'll cheat the game and just float my way on there, and I get into the red zone, and then the eagle leaves me, and I'm falling straight down to my ass. So I was like, I guess I can't do that. So
that's
I'm
like, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying the hell of it. I don't think it's very long. I think what I just described to you was the first hour and a half.
Cool.
So I think it's a short 10-hour game. I think from what I was reading online. So it does have more in there where you can kind of do different puzzles to get different to get more abilities. I started kind of fucking around with those on the first plateau before I went into the second one. It's like, oh, okay, there's some more shit, because I think when you beat the first god, it opens up another pillar where you can add more medallions that you unlock from doing puzzles. And I got 3 already filled out because I did 3 extra ones that I need to do. And I think there's like 6 or 7 additional ones I could do. So I'm just going around like, all right, where's this shit at? And I'm missing stuff. So I was kind of interested to see what they are. Yeah. And like each one seems to be different puzzles. And then there's one I think I landed was very similar to like you land on these butterflies, and you have to kind of like the butterflies kind of glide you, so you got to kind of do the quick movements and hit the talisman and time everything just right and follow them, because if they get too far ahead of you and you waste too much time, you don't get the prize at the end. So it's one of those skill based ones where you got to get very good, and it's very rewarding as you go through and you're like, okay, I make the jump, I hit this high speed ones, I make the other jump, which always fucked me up the first time, and I was like, I finally got it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck it up at the end, but I finally got past this point, as you get through there and you start learning the movements. So, but yeah, that's it for me.
Pathless sounds good. Brent, you got to add anything before we go?
No, I think we're good.
2 things to note. Very small announcement. We have passed 11,000 total plays across all platforms.
Oh, wow.
Looking good. Congrats awesome. To all. Growth continues. And, yeah, that has plateaued a little bit, but we're steady. And I have failed to mention this for like 5 weeks. Cesar, you mentioned that we are now on Amazon Music, so our podcast is now carried on their platform as well. So
the Jeff Bezos.
Yep, Bezos beats, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's it for you guys. Thank you all for joining us this week, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Adios.
See ya.